It's time for Intelligent Machines. Jeff's here. Paris is here, our guest, the founder and CEO of Persona Shield, Philip Shoemaker. He was the guy who wrote the rules for the App Store. He was ripped off by hackers. He's writing a new book on how to protect yourself from hackers, and now he wants to help creators to protect themselves from deep fakes. We'll talk about it next on Intelligent Machines.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Intelligent Machines with Paris Martineau and Jeff Jarvis, episode 882, recorded Monday, August 3rd, 2026. AI Rubberz? It's time for Intelligent Machines, the show where we cover the latest in AI, robotics, all the smart doodads all around us. Paris Martineau is here from Consumer Reports, where she covers bad food.
I mean, there's probably good food out there too.
But there's so much bad food. We're so glad
true.
that you do that job to keep us safe. It's great to see you,
That's
Paris. Right. On a Wednesday, I might add, or Tuesday.
On a Monday.
What day is this? On a Monday,
add.
I might add. We're recording earlier because I'm off to Black Hat, and we will be doing Intelligent Machines earlier so we could do Security Now on Wednesday. It's confusing. Don't worry about it. If you listen to it as a podcast, it's the same. Jeff Jarvis is also here, Emeritus Professor of Journalistic Innovation at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism. City University of New York, and author of Hot Type, which is, we're in August.
This month.
Any minute now. Hot off the presses, the story of the Linotype.
The birth of mass media with technology.
Good to see you. Our guest today, very interesting guest. In fact, the more I talk to him, the more interested I am. His heritage with AI goes back to 2007 when he went to work for a little company called Numenta. It was Jeff Hawkins, the guy who did graffiti, who was part of the Palm Group, said he's a neuroscientist. And he said, I'm pretty convinced that the way to AI, this is 2007, is to make chips that duplicate the way the human brain works, which is it's not very fast, but highly parallel. And our guest, Philip Shoemaker, followed Jeff there. And so you going back to 2007 have been doing this. That's amazing. Welcome, Jeff.
That's right. Philip, yes.
Philip, I'm sorry. Jeff's the guy to your left. Yeah, yes.
Got Jeff
Jeff's
on our
the
mind.
person that you do a show with every week, Greg.
I should really know.
Are you all right?
What doing it on
you know
Monday
what?
is
Okay,
throwing
can
it.
I confess what distracted me? First of all, there's a few things behind him that distracted me. There is a Meta Quest behind you, which is probably more a prop than in current use, but maybe you use it. I don't know. We'll talk about your new company. Maybe that's where Persona kind of fits in, Persona Shield. Also behind you, written as if it were a founding document of the United States, is the Bitcoin paper. So I love that. That's super cool. But the thing that got me was the picture of Napoleon's march through Russia.
Right.
This is an Edward Tufte example of perfect information presentation. I'm very impressed to see that. That's very cool. Okay, you win in coolness. And then a painting, which I presume is from your daughter, unless you're just learning.
That's right. That's my daughter. Good call on all of those, yes.
It's a hobby of mine. Welcome, Philip. Last month at VidCon in June, Philip announced a new company, Persona Shield, which is, and this is the elevator pitch, a permission layer for AI identity. Welcome. It's great to have you, Philip. I don't understand. What is a permission layer? Yeah, explain to me.
Yeah, first of all, super excited to be here and to be on with all of you guys.
Thank you.
This is
excited.
incredible. Super
Thank
excited. And I would argue that you probably have the best background I've seen. So mine pales.
We spend hundreds of dollars, Philip, on this. So
wow,
it is
amazing. So Persona Shield is all about, right now I can take an image of any one of you, throw it into Grok, and other AI systems, but I'll use Grok because they tend to be the the worst at this, and I can have you do anything.
And by worst, you mean
Unspeakable
best.
things.
Best, but not
mean most
restricted in any way.
permissive.
That doesn't, the other
Yeah,
guys will
that's
say,
right.
"Oh, I
Most
can't
permissible.
do that." Yeah, most permissive. Yeah.
I like that, Paris. That's a good one. Yes, and so I could put it and have it, say, I want to see Leo in a thong or something along those lines.
Oh, please no.
And
Please.
it will happen.
And this was a big problem because X became the home of the Nudify.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's terrorizing a lot of, honestly, a lot of female creators. Those are the ones that are, nobody wants to deepfake and nudify me, but they want to nudify and deepfake women. And it's just, it's pretty horrific what people have to go through. And so our idea was, look, let's register your face. You come on, just do a liveness scan of your face, set some options, some safeguards, we call them. Say, I don't want any images of me doing drugs, in porn, promoting products, and then we start looking for it, right? We go out there and we start scanning. Our initial idea was like, we'll have all the AI systems come ask us for permission for these users whenever they want to generate someone's face, but they're not going to do that, right? So we're going to fix the other side of the problem, which is once these images get posted, we'll remove them if they violate any sort of terms. And knowing what I know about the App Store and things like Instagram and TikTok and X, which all have to be on the App Store, I know how to take down images quickly because they have to follow Apple's rules. And so we just do the same thing.
Should mention rules you wrote.
That is right. That's how I know about him.
So, among other things, you worked at Apple when the App Store launched, and worked with Steve Jobs and Phil Schiller to create the App Store rules.
That's right.
How long?
Loads
were you
of
at
fun.
Apple? Yeah.
7 years. 7 years from 2009. Leo, earlier you asked me how I got there, but to be honest, I left Numenta when the App Store launched and started writing apps. And it was such an abysmal process that I complained and complained and complained until some guy named Eddie Q called me up and said, we need to meet. And that's how it all started.
Wow. What kind of apps were you writing?
They were terrible apps. Terrible apps. So I sat down with my son. I was like, let's create some apps. He was 12 at the time, 11. And he's like, well, popular ones right now are these fart apps. So I wrote one of those. We put that in the store.
Where
Where did you get the fart sound from?
I found them
that's
online.
a good question, Paris.
Are you paying your son royalties to this day?
This app got rejected so many times that I ultimately got it in, ended up running the App Store, and had to pull it as soon as I joined Apple. So,
But it was the best fart app.
oh, it was the worst. It was just
There were a lot. This was actually a standing joke in the early days of the
Yeah.
App Store, where there's a number of.
yeah. Soon after I joined, I ended up putting the kibosh on fart apps and said, okay, enough. We've had enough. No more.
I know because I wrote one.
Exactly.
That must have been a hell of a process. I can't even imagine making the rules. And of course, there was no way that you weren't going to be. In fact, John Gruber said you're going to be the guy everybody hates.
Yeah.
Right? There's just no way you couldn't be.
Yeah.
Because you're making the rules, and everybody wants. They want what they want. I don't want to make this a conversation about the App Store. We'll have to have you back and talk about that because the App Store is still. We'll have you on Mac Break Weekly because the App Store is still a sticking point for a lot of developers. People are not happy with the way the App Store is run, and lately Apple's been having all sorts of trouble with apps sneaking in Brazilian gambling apps that aren't gambling apps unless you have a Brazilian IP address, Bitcoin wallet stealers.
Yep.
All of the, and then the number of apps being submitted this year is double already in the first half of the year what the number of apps submitted last year because of AI, I think, because of vibe coding.
All vibe coding. Yes, exactly. Apple's getting inundated. Yeah.
So there's real challenges. But I also think, and actually you might have something to say about this, that the day of the phone app may be limited.
It should be.
It should be. That many people think, and I certainly OpenAI thinks this, and Johnny Ive thinks this, that the next thing you have in your pocket won't have apps at all. you'll have an AI in there, and you'll say, "I want an Uber," and it'll get the Uber for you, or make a fart sound, and it'll make a fart sound. You don't need an app to do that.
That's right. But there are still things you need that are visual, right? We're not going to go into a pure audio world. We still need things that are visual. But the way we launch those, the way we request the data, the information, should all be by voice, and AI will be driving all of this. I see Apple as wanting to get rid of the App Store and maybe just have developers provide plugins to their data sources and other things, and we'll just be able to build a store through that, right? You just go to the App Store and say, I want an app that does ABC, XYZ. It spits it out, and then you start paying Apple a fee for that, or you're paying them for a monthly fee for the App Store in general. But
that's interesting.
It's going to happen.
That's interesting. So how does Persona Shield...
Persona.
Persona. Persona. Is it can I say persona or persona? Which would you prefer?
We call it persona, but look, however you want us to pronounce, as long as you're saying our
as long as you're saying it, you can pronounce whatever you want.
I don't know why I want to say persona. It is person.
Maybe you're thinking personified.
Yes, that's probably what it is.
Yeah, that's right.
So persona, how are you going to protect me? So I go in, so I have to go into your office and get my head scanned? Is that?
No, you can actually just go to our website.
Okay.
Create an account and scan your face. You can either do it on your computer, which is difficult because you have to bring it really close to your face, to do different scanning, or you can have it sent to your phone.
That makes sense.
And you just scan your face, and then you answer some questions about safeguards. By default, we turn them all on. But if you're, say, Snoop Dogg, you're like, look, I'm okay with cannabis, but the rest of the drugs I want turned off. Right. You can do that and be very specific, and you can set custom ones. Like maybe you'll say, no images of me and Donald Trump or whomever you want to, right? No political endorsements, things along those lines.
And in some ways, this also is a permission system for stuff you do want.
That's correct. That's correct. Protection, our platform is more than protection. It's all about ownership, right? You want to own your likeness. And right now, we see people like Matthew McConaughey and Taylor Swift going out there and trademarking their face and their voice, which is silly, right? But people need to do that to protect themselves. We're not granted this by default. So we just say, come to our system. Sure, you can do all that, trademark your face, but come to our system. We will go scan the internet and find where the problems are and take them down. At least tell you where these problems are, and you can choose whether to allow them or remove them. But ownership is more than protection, right? It's also about, well, I'm a creator. I want fans to engage with me. I'm a professional athlete. I'm a celebrity. If they want to generate images of me, they can generate them as long as they fall within the safeguards, which I've set, and as long as I get paid for it. And that's the other side of the coin, is that we want these creators to be able to monetize their likeness in addition to protecting it.
And how do you guys go about scanning the internet for potential violations? That seems like it could get very, very complicated very quickly when you take into account all the different places that these images could pop up.
Oh, it's easy. It's like boiling the ocean, right?
Everybody always says that's so easy.
How hard
it's so easy. No, it is. Right now, look, to be honest, we started with X. That's where we are right now. We're using the X feed to scour X because we thought it had the most issues, right?
And that's the first place stuff's going to show up. If somebody wants to monetize a pirate image of you, the first place they're going to go is X, right? I mean, there may be kind of subreddits where people go to show nudity and stuff like that. That's probably also a good place to check. But X is
that's right.
First place I think people would go.
So
are you looking at Reddit at this point or no?
We're looking at Reddit, Instagram, TikTok, and to be honest, one of the interesting things that people are doing with these nudified deepfakes is they find someone they believe is attractive. They take some of her, say, fitness images off of Instagram. They nudify them. They turn them into videos, and then they create a whole different world on OnlyFans. So we're looking at and of course that person doesn't make any money from it. They don't even know it exists. We're going to surface it to them, tell them it exists, and then remove it. Right.
So you also look at OnlyFans and Fansly and places like that.
These are all added to our list of things to do. We can. To completely answer Paris's question, right now, we're doing it using straight up API calls through X. Not everybody gives us that, right? We are going to have to scrape. I hate scraping because scraping is is verboten in some circles, right, on some social media sites. But ideally, we're going to have to be able to get to this content. We're going to have to find it. And so, yes, we are trying to ink deals with OnlyFans to be able to look at their content, just profiles. Look, we don't need the X-rated stuff. We just need the profile photos. And then we can determine if they are a violation.
The original source is
That's
the best way to look for the deep fakes. You're actually probably timing is very good because many governments are looking at this. There's the No Fakes Act, which is still not law in the U.S., but makes this illegal. Denmark has established a right over one's face. I remember reading about that. Actually, the EU objected to it, which is interesting.
It is.
You remember Sora, the long, late lamented Sora, where that OpenAI ran into a buzzsaw with that one. It actually kind of hurt my heart to see people like Martin Luther King made into, his "I Have a Dream" speech made into plugs for Bitcoin and things. It just really bothered me. So I think so you is there any legal tooth to this? Can you go and write a cease and desist letter? How do you take these down?
Yeah, so we have a great legal team that has drafted a variety of packages for us that we automatically send when we need to remove an image. We start with DMCA takedown. Right, we start with that.
That's pretty effective, yeah.
And that's really effective. To be honest, X is really good about that. Less than 4 hours, we get images removed on X. And we do DMC, and then we also, I don't want. It's not a power of attorney, but they grant us. Every user grants us the ability to operate on their behalf with regards to image takedown, and we send a little more with teeth legal package explaining to them that these need to be removed. And look, knock on wood, we haven't had a lot of issues. We haven't had any issues thus far with regards to getting these images taken down in a timely manner.
Good. And I think people are looking over their shoulder at governments and saying, we got to be careful because this could end up backfiring on us. So
what's the business model you anticipate?
Yeah, the business right now, it's a monthly fee that someone pays to be able to get their images removed. It's if you want them removed really quickly and the scans to find them really quickly, we have a higher end package, and that is anywhere from $149 right now to $1,500 or sorry $2,000 to have things taken down.
If you're Matthew McConaughey,
faster.
$2,000 a month is not too much to pay to keep your face off of liquor ads in Japan, right?
Yeah, that's what we were thinking as well. I've talked to a lot of creators, and this isn't Matthew McConaughey level, right? Creators who have maybe 1 million followers, et cetera. Some of them are paying about $100,000 a month. I'm sorry, $100,000 a year on getting their images removed by working with legal teams that play whack-a-mole, right? You have to find them, and then you have to do a C&D or something, a takedown package along with that. We're just scanning constantly on your behalf.
Are you doing packages with managers and agencies in Hollywood?
Yeah, we're trying to. It's funny. You talk to someone like CAA, and CAA is like, yeah, we have lawyers and we have interns to do this work. It's like they want to feed the machine, right? The machine that they've spent years building. Yeah. I get it, but over time they're going to need a more automated solution because I guarantee we can find these images better than than an intern can, right? Because we're always scanning.
There's a precedent for this. This is one of our sponsors is Delete Me. There is a big business
That's
that
right.
going through data brokers, doing something very similar. But this is much more sophisticated. It needs to be because this is a much kind of different problem. But I could see people already pay to get their data off of the data broker's site. So this does not seem unreasonable. In fact, I'm thinking about my son who has a very distinctive image, and his, he's a creator. He definitely would want to keep that to himself. You actually have a second plan. So there's a protection plan. And it's, I think, $149 a month for an independent creator, it seems fairly reasonable, to be honest. But you can also make money at it because you can turn on fan creation.
That's right.
Salt Hank, my son, could say, but if you want to make a video with my face, you can pay me. And you can do it through Persona Shield. Persona Shield. Let me get it right.
This is a fascinating look into your brain, Leo. That you can't say the word persona.
Persona Shield. That's an interesting idea too. So this is the second half of the monetization.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because as we get talking about this, we don't hate AI. I love AI. I mean, in fact, I look
You're on
at
the
AI
right
as
show,
something,
by the way.
something it allows me to be a kind of a superhero, right? Where I got all these agents doing all this work for me,
Right.
and I monitor them constantly to make sure they're doing the right things. But to me, we love AI, and we believe that just trust and honesty and knowing what's true is going away with regards to images. We want to solve that problem. But at the same time, we were talking to a lot of fans, look, we spoke to Shaquille O'Neal's people, and they said Shaq loves these images. Right? He loves these fake images. As long as they don't have him doing anything violent, he's okay with it. And it's like, well, that's exactly what we do, right? Come to us, we'll make this happen. And we want to be able to do something else. Like right now, there's with FIFA, with the World Cup, with the X Games League, and all of these big teams and contests that are going on. We want them to be able to sponsor some fan engagement and say, create the most interesting trick on a skateboard for the X Games, using maybe the artist or the skateboarder Bob Burnquist, and we'll generate those images, and they'll all be stamped with the logo of the X Games League, and it'll be some interesting stuff. And we know that people will love meme generators, et cetera. So we're going to be adding more images and image types moving forward to allow these creators to be able to sponsor more fan engagement, right?
You actually were a founder of identity.org, which had a similar plan, right? Are you still involved with them?
Yeah, identity.org, our goal there was, look, when I left Apple in 2016, I'll tell you, when I left, I mean, Greg Joswick, a good friend, Jaws, always said internally I had the hardest job at Apple because I was yelled at when I did things right, either internally or externally, and I got yelled at when I did things wrong, internally and externally, right? It was both. And that was that was an issue. I had death threats. I had people showing up at my house in the middle of the night asking me to approve an app. And I was I was in a confidential position. I was outed by David Copperfield, of all people, the magician. He did it because he
made you
wanted
appear,
to thank me.
not disappear. He made you appear.
You know, Leo, I have a book coming out in October, and that is the exact line I use. David Copperfield made me appear. And so that to me was just so stressful. So in 2016, I left and ended up going to Dominican Republic to kiteboard for a while. Nice. And my wife and I were like, what are we going to do next? And we really liked crypto, right? Bitcoin, et cetera. And we wanted to get into a decentralized community of some sort. So we came up with decentralized identity. We thought people are going to love this. It yanks the control of your identity outside of control of companies like Facebook, right? Because we just gone through the Cambridge Analytica nonsense there. And we thought people would love this idea. People don't love the idea of decentralized identity. They love centralized identity. I can scan my finger, scan my face, and and my credentials are stored up on the web somewhere. That's great. It's convenience, right? But we know with convenience comes hacking and other problems. And so for me, I wanted to get rid of that. I found out that people didn't really want that. So we started looking at different aspects to identity and ultimately morphed it into what we're doing at Persona Shield.
Darn them. Darn them all. They don't know what they need. I imagine this was, and I know your book was spurred by your own experience. You were SIM swapped.
That's right. Right.
Yeah. So what happened?
The SIM swap was interesting. I was in the Dominican Republic. I was at a cafe with my wife and my daughter, and I lost connection to my phone. That's all. I just looked and I had no bars. It's like, but I was in the Dominican Republic. I knew this happens all the time. Right. It goes up and down. It's right. And so I didn't think anything of it. I just put my phone in my pocket. An hour later, I went into the house we were renting, and boom, I connected the Wi-Fi, and I got hundreds of messages saying that my account's been moved. Here's your password reset, and it was for every cryptocurrency exchange I was on. Oh no! Chase Bank, my bank, et cetera, all these different ones, and that's when I knew what had happened. It hit me, and I had no control of it, but Look, I was very lucky. I used to run the App Store. I know a lot of people. And so I grabbed my wife's phone and started calling the head of Brian Armstrong, the head of Coinbase, the head of Gemini. I know all these guys, and they were able to shut down my accounts before anything got lost. So I was super fortunate. I ended up having to fly the next day to Miami, where a store was for my carrier, to get a new SIM and then fly back.
Holy cow.
Crazy.
But you didn't lose, other than the airfare, you didn't lose anything.
I didn't.
Wow.
But this is
Hey,
true
and
for
that's why
most
the
people.
Bitcoin text gets put up as a constitution.
Exactly.
So you're writing a book called Unbreakable: How to Secure Your Digital Life in a World Built to Breach You. Boy, you're perfect writing this.
It was crazy, everything I went. I had death threats from people all around the world, and people trying to hack me constantly.
Thanks,
it was
David Copperfield.
Thank you, David. Jeez.
Why did he out you?
It was, my team kept rejecting his team's app for the longest time. It was an illusion app. And my team was like, well, the rules say you can't mislead someone in the app. It's like, no, you guys are missing the point of the app.
Magic.
The point of the app is not to mislead the purchaser of the app. It's their friends, right? And we don't have any agreement with their friends. So I sat down with David Copperfield and his team on Zoom, and we worked through what the app was. And I immediately said, well, this is a no-brainer. We got to fix this. And I approved it that day. And he just tweeted a thank you to me the next day. It was it's innocuous.
This wasn't to be mean.
No good deed.
no.
This was not to be mean. It was very nice. And boom, my life changed.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you're doing Persona Shield, because it sounds like this is something a lot of creators need. And now I'm thinking I should do this, although I've led my whole life kind of in the opposite way, in public. And it's funny. I created a digital clone of my voice in 11 Labs, and they wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me offer it to people for free because I named it Professional Podcaster, and apparently that is a violation of their terms.
What?
So, and then I thought, well, that's probably a blessing, because if I give away my voice, I'm in trouble. And it's a very good clone. I mean, that's 11 Labs does this really well.
Well, it's a very good voice. You should not. You should not let that out of your hands.
Hold on to that, huh?
You should,
Especially when identity verification happens more and more with voice.
Yeah,
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, good. I'm getting an alarm that there's a fire in our neighborhood. We are in Northern California, and we're having early fire season. And I'm smelling smoke. So,
Well, if you have to leave in the middle of
I
the
might have to
podcast,
run.
we'll
I'm just saying.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Are you looking at your
Grim
cameras
portent.
outside?
Yeah, you have like 17 cameras all
Look at
connected
this.
to AI.
The Stroud fire. It's right outside. I could show you on watch duty. It's right outside my house.
Probably don't show people where you live.
Oh, I just outed myself. Oh, it really is close. Holy cow.
You okay, Leo?
Do you want to pause?
No.
Are you sure?
It seems a little worrisome.
You worry when they give it a name. Like if it's just,
Yes.
oh yeah, there's a fire outside. Like there's some, but no, they have it. It already has a name. That's not a good sign.
That's a
is it?
media thing, though.
No, this is watch duty. Well, maybe it is a media thing.
It's like they started naming storms below hurricanes so that they could have.
It's a bomb cyclone
coverage.
right outside my house. No, it's far enough. I think unless it spreads, I'm all right. So we'll just continue. I will be brave.
Leave it all on the field for the podcast.
Oh boy, it is smoky in here. That's what made me sit up and notice. Then I got an alert. Why don't you guys
Where
ask
were
some
you?
questions while I go look out the window? Do you mind?
Yeah.
Okay,
You need to
that's
do that. Yes.
I'll be right back. Paris, ask him something.
I guess, what has the response been so far from creators and the people that you're working with since you guys have launched?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. We have people trickling in, right? It's not. They're not rushing the gates to get on board. Fans, the creators, when we talk to them and their agents, they love the idea. Right? Look, first of all, they love the idea of something to protect their money, right? Because they are making money from these accounts, et cetera. But and they've been giving us a lot of feedback on saying, don't do Instagram next. You got to go to TikTok. TikTok shops are the worst. Everybody's stealing our stuff there. And so we've had a lot of really good feedback, and everyone knows this is a problem, especially these frontline creators. But it is ultimately hard when they're not actively being deepfaked at the time, right? We talk to so many celebrities, athletes, et cetera, and they're like, well, it hasn't really happened to me. But that's kind of like insurance, right? We know it's going to happen to all of us at some point. I'm worried when I come out with this book about how to protect yourself that people are going to start deep faking me and saying, do other things that won't protect you. I'm concerned about that. I think that people are getting it, and as the days go on, more and more people are signing up. So it's a very slow growth, but it is something that people know needs to be fixed at some point.
Yeah, it seems like the sort of problem that you might not recognize how life-ruining and altering it can be until it happens to you, until your identity completely gets away from you.
Yeah, and that's not
hard.
Fun.
Yeah, not fun, and also kind of hard to convey. Leo, are you on fire?
I don't see any open flames, so I think that's a good sign.
Okay, good.
I guess.
I'll be all right. So it does feel like, though, that you're fighting an uphill battle, much like the firefighters right outside my house. That it's going to be very difficult. It's an avalanche of, and it's just way too easy to create these deep fakes. Unfortunately, I mean, it doesn't take a lot of money. It doesn't even take any skill.
Yeah, it's funny. I took one of these images of when I was going to be at VidCon. I took one of last year's images, official VidCon image, and in order to post it on all the channels, I needed to turn it into a video. So I dropped that into Grok, and in the image was somebody in a wheelchair. And when I had the image turned into a video, that person stood up and started jumping up and down and clapping. And I was like, and I looked at this image, I was like, I'm doing exactly what I'm not supposed to be doing, right? I'm suddenly, none of these people in this image are people who have given me the okay to turn them into video. And so I scrubbed it. I said, no, I can't do this. And those are the kind of things that people get pulled into this all the time, and they just don't know it. We don't know how many images are out there of our likeness being used,
right?
And that's the main thing I want to do. And look, we're considering a free model where you can just plug in your credentials or do your face scan, and we can show you everywhere your image is being used, and you may know of them, or you may not.
That would be a huge benefit.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
By
so.
the way, I just want to thank you for helping me save my cat and my keys and everything.
Oh, yeah. All of our digital likeness is being used in our Discord.
That's how long this took to generate
how fast that was.
A deep fake. We have some very talented AI geniuses in our club.
Fantastic.
Unfortunately. I guess that's why I have. Oh, and incidentally, Shaq told me that you're very good at hoops. So I think that's also a good. There
I like that one.
Duncan on Shaq. That's pretty good.
You got my number right too. I'm always number one.
Are you number one? All right. So when's the book come out?
October 27th. It's got a ways still. Yeah.
It's done though, right? Obviously,
it is.
It takes forever.
Holy cow, Jeff! I know you're going through this. I just did the final review of the manuscript, and so I'm happy. I think I'm done.
This is great. This is great. Well, I wish you all the best with Persona Shield. I apologize for mispronouncing it. Brand new company with some really, I think, really good ideas, and I really like the idea of being able to, fans being able to legitimately create images. I think that might end up being the real secret sauce here. Yeah. Is instead of saying no, you get the Streisand effect. No. Saying yeah, do it. I love it
under these circumstances.
Yeah, under these circumstances.
Exactly.
Well, I'm also glad that this is evidence to all of those who hated you when you were at Apple that you prove you're a really nice guy.
He's a good guy.
Everybody, Philip's a nice guy.
He's doing the Lord's work here. That's great.
I'm trying.
Yeah. Well, I do wish you luck because I feel like that we are. I felt this way for a while now that we are standing in front of. You know how when a tsunami, the tide goes out and everybody goes running down to the beach to see what's happening and going, oh look, where's the water going? I feel like we're at that stage of AI. Oh, look. And it might be time to get to high ground. The avalanche, the tsunami is coming. But maybe Persona Shield is the answer. Philip Shoemaker, thank you so much for joining us. Really great to talk to you. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
All right. This episode of Intelligent Machines, we'll have more in just a bit, brought to you by Rippling. Oh, this is a very good idea. Let's face it, any AI out there can give you business insights. Everybody's doing that. Use the chat bots, use ChatGPT, use Perplexity, but only Rippling AI can give you total visibility into your workforce and take real action across departments in your business. If you have a critical business question, if you need to build a presentation-ready dashboard, if you want to, create an automated workflow, you can do it. If you can describe it, Rippling AI can build it. The thing that makes Rippling AI so different, it's built on your data, on your live people and business data. One platform, one unified source of truth with all your business systems connected from day one. By connecting all your systems, Rippling AI operates with the full context of your business, pulling accurate data in real time to build reports, dashboards, workflows, and more. And for instance, let's say you need to find out if your sales team, are they at risk of missing quota? It's easy. You don't have to go searching through paperwork or the hard drive. You just ask Rippling AI. Rippling AI will do this right now. We'll pull real-time data from Rippling and Salesforce into a dashboard, all your data showing quota attainment, headcount plan, monthly revenue to quota by region in seconds. You'll see exactly what's behind your quota risk. And that's just one example to give you an idea of what you can do. The sky's the limit, really, because it has all the data. And once you get that report, Rippling's able to turn those insights into real action. In this case, you could create an automated recruiting workflow that triggers whenever Rippling AI notices open sales roles and lagging time to fill is directly impacting quota attainment. The kind of data that you need, you want, and then you can act on. And because all those permissions are automatically inherited and actions flow through your existing approval chains, all you have to do is review, tap confirm, and you set the workflow in motion because they're your permissions. Question answered, action taken, problem solved before it has the chance to bite you. If you're ready to rule your business, head to rippling.ai/machines and get the only AI built to give you full visibility and take complex actions across your entire organization. That's Rippling, rippling.ai/machines. Sign up for exclusive access today. Rippling.ai/machines. Make sure you use that /machines at the end. That's the best way to make sure that they know you saw it here. Thank you, Rippling. Let's see what's going on in the world out there where still, of course, people are still buzzing over the OpenAI Hugging Face hack. It's funny because OpenAI is, now as they're looking into it, they're finding evidence that more of its agents ran amok. Anonymous sources have told Reuters more of OpenAI agents are believed to have escaped their sandboxes, not out into the public, but just out of the sandbox into the OpenAI.
And define sandbox. What then defined what it shouldn't have done or what they didn't think it was going to do?
Well, and this is the point a number of people have been making. Mike Elgin made this on Sunday. I think Steve Gibson will probably talk a little bit about it. Wired magazine, Lily Hay Newman is very good writing. OpenAI's hacking debacle comes down to human error. Mm-hmm. that they could have easily have prevented this had they thought of it, and really raises the issue either that they were careless or more. Perhaps they kind of hoped this would happen. They were kind of hoping. Lily Hay Newman quotes Alex Zenla, co-founder of cloud security firm Adara. People are YOLOing it really hard. You've heard me use that term. It's short for you only live once, but in the AI context, it means just run these tools without any permissions requirements or any limitations. It just gets in the way. I do it. It just gets in the way. The AI is always saying, is it okay if I modify this file? Is it okay if I do this? No, that's a pain in the ass. Just go ahead, do it. YOLO.
What you need to do.
People are YOLOing really hard, says Zenla. It's shocking how little people have really thought about a scenario like this. I consider all AI and anything AI touches to be fully untrusted, which is fine. You just need to build against that, and this situation proves the point. Now, the funniest thing in this story is that Anthropic immediately said, "Hold my beer." They said, "We heard about this, and we looked
Anthropic
into
was
it,
jealous,
and we found, we're doing that too." Anthropic says Claude published malicious code to the internet and attacked 3 real companies. Dan Gooden, writing at Ars Technica, says, had the hacks used conventional methods, somebody be going to prison right now. It's this weird situation. It's the same thing with Mythos, where these companies that simultaneously want to say, "Oh my God, this is terrifying," and "Isn't this great?"
Look how powerful we are. My
how
kid can beat up your
amazing.
kid. Well, plus the Anthropic one wasn't it somebody just left a machine hooked up to the internet.
Anthropic said the prompts engineers delivered during a capture the flag challenge, that's a common test of AI ability, made clear the testing environment was only a simulation and that the models had no access to the open internet. However, the testing partner that was doing this irregular mistakenly made such internet access available. So the models said, no internet available, and they treated that as that discovery as part of the exercise, which they will do. They said, "Oh yeah." The funniest thing is, and I think this is a little bit of a humble brag. OpenAI said, "Yeah, it wasn't even our best model. It was Opus 4.7. We don't even offer that."
Yeah, these guys are.
Yeah, it was the one that overstepped the boundaries the most.
I just think that all of this is a signal that what are the things that we're not being informed of? Like, what are the things that they're not even thinking to go and double or triple check to see if there's an issue? It just indicates to me that there's a much larger problem here with accountability and transparency and general adherence to best practices that I'm not sure where the buck stops.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. Meanwhile, Sam Altman and Dario Amodei are in D.C., or were in D.C. Oh, I guess they're in D.C. right now. No, that was last Wednesday. Testifying, showing off the new model, the Astra model that OpenAI is about to release. This stuff does not slow down. It's moving so fast. And basically what the big guys are saying is it's regulatory capture, right, Jeff? That's the term you've used in the past, where they're saying, you really ought to slow it down because it's dangerous.
Now that we're up on the blimp, let's pull the ladder up behind us.
Yeah. And of course, what they're afraid of is China, but I don't think you can slow down China.
No.
And OpenAI is not slowing down until somebody tells it to slow down. They've got this new family of models. Astra is the code name. So they just released ChatGPT 5, 6, Solterra, and Luna. They've now lowered the price on the smallest model.
That's the really interesting story to me this week is there's a price war going on.
Yeah, and
the Chinese are dropping everything. OpenAI is dropping everything. And I don't know what this does to their business models.
I know exactly why, because DeepSeek released last week DeepSeek V4 Flash. Now, I'd been using DeepSeek V4 Pro. Flash was just released. It's small enough that if I had just bought that Mac Mini 192 gigabyte Mac Mini a couple of months ago, I could run it locally. I've been using it full time on my agent. It's really good, and it's pennies. It probably costs a couple of bucks a week with a lot of use. It's really cheap, and it's really good, and it's open weight.
So it could cost you nothing if you could put it on the machine.
I told Quicksilver, maybe you want to start keeping your eye peeled. I have a watch on the Apple refurb store. I said, if any Mac Studios go on sale, let me know.
How many AI agents are watching the
I'm not
Apple
alone.
store? I wonder.
And I went to eBay, and there's a lot of them for sale, and I'm sure all of them are scams because they're $4,000 or $5,000. There's just no way.
Well, if you bought that Spark doublet, you could run anything that's out there now, except not Kimmy.
No. Really, a lot of these really frontier stuff.
Any of the open weights, I'm saying.
Yeah, no, a lot of the really good open weights are still too big.
Too big. Even for what? Even for a double spark?
Probably the one that everybody seems to like a lot right now is, Quen. Okay, so this is moving so fast. There's a new Quen coming out, which everybody's very excited about. I used the Quen 3.8 Max preview and was underwhelmed, but they have the new one coming out. There's GLM 5.2, which is quite good. You probably could run that on dual sparks. But what you almost certainly you certainly could run the Flash, DeepSeek 4 Flash, and DeepSeek 4 Pro, you might be able to run. That's going to be a 1.4 terabyte parameter model. I don't know. Yes. So here, my thinking is dual. First of all, we know that this is moving so fast that anything you did today would be obsolete probably tomorrow, right? It's just moving too fast. If I bought if I spent $8,000 on 2 Spark machines connected together, yes, I could run DeepSeek 4 Pro probably, certainly Flash. I can run Flash in a single Spark. But in 3 months, will I feel like I've got the best? No, of course not. But then there's on the other side of it, you can't get the hardware, these chips, you can't get this, even the SSDs. It's very possible Trump's going to say no more Chinese open weight models. We're going to ban them. It's possible. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's possible the Chinese
how could you ban
them? Well, I don't know. There are people who say download now. Go to Hugging Face. Download all the open weight models now. Get them in case. I guess it'd be hard to shut it down because there already is a Pirates Bay for models. It's called Hugging Bay. Which would be very hard to shut down. So yeah, you're right. Once the cat's out of the bag, it's probably hard to keep it in. But you might be able to with threats of sanctions and I don't know whatever.
Well,
the
but can't you just
China with? You might be able to convince China to say, okay, don't let the Americans have it.
Well, but can't you just act like you're in Iceland or France?
It's pretty hard.
Yeah, how do you stop someone from exporting or selling a product on the internet
for free? It's pretty hard.
For free to a specific region.
Right. So maybe the real threat is just you won't ever be able to get this hardware for years. It's going to be 3 years before you can get anything like this.
But I mean, do you think it's realistic that in 3 years these problems will go away and suddenly you'll be able to get this hardware that is like, why would the supply crunch not continue?
Well, Micron has already started work on a fab in New York. Now it's a $100 billion fab. It won't go online probably for a few years.
I was going to say, all of the construction's happening right now. It's going to take quite a few years.
I'm sure, though, they're building as fast as they can, right?
But I think they're building as fast as they can, not to make products for you and me, but to make products for these companies.
Yeah, well, they think, so this is how it works, right? They think, oh, great, we can sell these chips at super premium prices to all of the big AI companies. They make too many. And this has always happened in the memory market. It's a boom bust cycle, and suddenly the price plummets. And that could, in 2 years, it could be cheap again. I don't know. I don't know. But
you could buy a Spark today.
Yeah, and the Sparks aren't that expensive. They're around $4,000 or $5,000. In fact, a number of our club members have Sparks. In fact, one of them has 2 Sparks.
I'd consider that a fire.
Don't say fire.
Don't say fire. Anyway, I'm really impressed with this Chinese model. It's like surprisingly good. I've been putting it through its paces.
Which one is it again?
DeepSeek V4
So that's
Flash.
the price. The price just came way down on that, right?
It's so cheap. It's like 14 cents per million tokens in, and it's nothing. It's so cheap that you don't even feel it. And that's API tokens. That's not a subscription. I do have subscriptions to a lot of them. What I've been building, here's the other thing. One of the reasons I'd love to have a local model is I think we're not too far away from being able to do a fully local personal chat device. So I started a couple of days ago, I took this is an ESP32, and now I can talk to Quicksilver. It actually activates if I say, "Hey, Quicksilver," I can talk to.
Did it just activate?
No, it's stuck right now. There's something going on. I have to fix it, but it's because I stopped development of this because I discovered something even better. So I bought 3 of these. I'm going to put one on every floor. And now it's like Alexa. It's a local Alexa, but instead of going out to Amazon, it's going to my server, framework server here, using my agents with their knowledge, their memory, their tools. Fantastic, right? But then I thought, well, wait a minute. Why don't I just wear it around all the time? I said, how could I do that? And it said, well, if you got these aftershocks with the Calm headset. I said, I already have those. Oh, so we'll just write you a little program that we'll put on your Pixel phone. You press the button, you could talk to your agent. You could have a conversation, and it wouldn't bother anybody in the house, and you could still hear your wife. Which is a big issue. You could still. So then I said, it's so too bad I can't do this with the Meta glasses. And it said, oh, you can. I said, what? It said a couple months ago, Meta opened up their glasses so that you could wear these glasses, and instead of having it call Meta's AI, it calls your AI. Oh. You tap the temple. You say, hey, can you get me the results from the last 3 months of our ad sales? And it would talk back to you in the temple. So it's, again, nobody'd hear it. And I said, yeah, that's nice of Meta to do that. I bet you can't get the camera. And they said, oh, yeah, you can get the camera. Huh. So Meta, probably seeing the writing on the wall, has apparently made these fully open.
Because who wants Meta AI? You're right.
I don't. That's the real stopping point on this. These are
it's
really
like the same reason they're opening up their hosting, because it's not their AI anymore. They're just going to have the glasses and the servers.
So I expect the next year a flood of devices. And of course, the companies know that there aren't very many people like me who are going to make it work with their home AI. You're going to use Alexa with the Amazon servers. You're going to use the Meta glasses with Meta's servers. But as long as they give us this ability, I think we're going to see a lot of devices. I'm thinking of all sorts of ways I could carry something in my pocket and have a full-time AI available all the time. And this was my holy grail. Remember, this is what I've been trying to do going back last year to that stupid bracelet I was wearing after CES. Was that this year or last year? Might have been this year. It's moving so fast. I'm losing.
So you were saying before we got on, you were thinking about taking the headset to Black Hat.
So I thought this... This would be a good.
Oh, you're muted.
This would be a really good.
You're gonna get beat up if you bring the Meta glasses to Black Hat.
No, but I could bring
these. Yeah,
I would just look like a normal dork.
Yeah, people would be like, "Yeah, that makes perfect sense."
He's talking. It's like a Bluetooth. It is a Bluetooth headset. A lot of people use this, for Bluetooth phone calls. But instead, I'm talking to my agent. There's an action button on here. I don't have to say, "Hey, Quicksilver." And then they were saying, "Well, what if a hacker shouts into your headset as you're talking to it? Ignore all previous instructions, RM-RF, start." And so they did all this thinking about it and said, well, we can reject that. And in fact, I typed it in and it rejected it. It said, are you trying to hack us? It thought I was hacking my own system. So I think this would be a good adversarial test.
The pronoun they in this case is not people, it's his agents.
Yeah, it's Bluetooth. And I could bring it to Black Hat. No, I'm probably not going to do that. Anyway, I challenged.
You're gonna feel lonely without your agents.
Oh, I can still talk to it. I can talk to it on my watch and my phone.
Okay.
I'm not going to be alone. Tuesday, the White House is hosting AI companies to review the AI framework. Look, there's Sam Altman. I don't know who the guy in the middle is. And Dario Amodei, that's at the G7 summit. But this is going to happen again on Tuesday. And this is because, these companies want some sort of AI oversight framework which would protect them and keep China out. I would, if I were to summarize it.
Don't do it.
It's a, quote, voluntary framework, although a number of people pointed out it really wouldn't be voluntary.
Why not?
I've forgotten why they said. So the White House wanted a voluntary system to work with AI companies, identifying risks with their new models while still maintaining a hands-off approach to AI regulation. This is because Trump has David Sachs and all of his donors in one ear whispering, whatever you do, don't regulate AI. And then it has, everybody else, including probably most of the Republican Party, saying, oh, my God, protect us. So he's going to try to come up with something. The executive order included a provision that a number of executive agencies would develop the framework within 60 days, which creates a definition of frontier models that would be covered as well. That was a few months ago. Now the White House says that as of Monday, is that today? That's today.
You are so confused.
The deadline was August 1st, but apparently they're done. So now they're going to meet with all these people to get feedback.
Yeah, but the problem is, who are all these people?
Well, basically Sam and Daria.
Just the big guys, yeah.
So this will be this. This is what's really confusing about all this is there are all these conflicting agendas going on, right? And it's hard to figure out.
Well, and China
really
is a
acting on
stalking
our behalf.
horse for open weights, the same way that data centers are a stalking horse for AI hate.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand by, despite what Dean Ball says and others who say that open weight is an existential threat to America. I'm going to stand by my belief that open weight, like open source, is the only way forward with AI.
So I wrote a post last week in favor of AI communism.
Yes, I saw that.
And
thought was
arguing
exactly
that,
right. Yeah.
arguing that if the open weight opportunity here is that we can all have access to AI, in which case it also changes our attitudes about AI. Then we don't want torpedo dumb AI. We want smart AI. We want good AI because we can have access to the tools. And it's not about hating Sam or Dario. It's some geek who made open weight AI.
And it would be nice if you could run it locally.
Yeah. That's the other
There's
problem.
lots of reasons for that. Businesses want to run it locally so that their private business information doesn't get sent to the cloud.
I hate agreeing with Karp, but that's the model
That's
that
what
he
he was
says
saying.
companies should do. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're right to ask, Paris, if this really is open. I did not verify it. This is just what my AI said when it did the research.
I wasn't trying to fact check you, hence why I didn't say it on air. What Leo's referring to is I posted in the Discord asking if anybody else had any documentation that Meta actually opened the glasses up to other AI models, because I thought that would be, like you said, it
seems
sounded like
counter
a
to their business
It
interest,
seems
doesn't
both
it?
counter to their business,
Yeah.
but it also seems kind of like a classic Meta move that it's like, yeah, maybe our thing didn't work, so instead we're going to try and just be the platform and capture the market. But I couldn't find any details about that online, albeit I only did a search while you guys were talking, so I could be totally missing it. But it seems maybe what it got confused on is that a lot of the results I saw online were that you can either kind of jailbreak it using the dev platform or
No, this isn't a jailbreak. This was official. It said this was an official app that Meta released last month that you could run on a phone that would let you. I'm having it get the references so we can look at it. And
Yeah.
you're right to question it. Yeah.
Just only because I was like, wow, that's a very interesting move for Meta.
It would be.
as
It
someone that's-
surprised me. Yeah.
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 There's a May story that Meta opens up display AI glasses to third-party developers. That's not the same.
Yeah, that's the first thing I saw, but that's more like you could have
You could do an app on
third-party
it.
apps on it.
Right.
And it does seem like Meta has said, oh, yeah, you can run Claude code through the glasses, but that's more of like you have the Meta AI doing something in the middle that's then
Right.
connecting to whatever you've logged in with your Claude. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Just because I think it's very funny that over the last couple of years of you becoming falling more and more in love with AI, we've somehow come back around to kind of a B computer sort of model where the dream is to suddenly have a wearable that is recording.
Well, it was always the long-term goal was always, I want an omnipresent. So, the thing that really made, I think, the
Have you heard about
iPhone-
granola? Everybody's obsessed with the granola right now.
I don't know
Not
about
the food.
granola. The thing that made the iPhone a success was you have an always connected computer that you can at any time go on the internet and get information from. And it's amazing. And you carry around in your pocket. It's huge, right? You can put games on it. You can do anything. This is a full-time edge computer with internet access. That's critical because we had Palm Pilots before that. That wasn't enough. This is the key, is that internet access. Well, and to me, this is basically what I'm talking about. I want a full-time computer that I can phone's my AI at home that can do this. This is the repo, Meta Wearables DAT. It's a device access toolkit for Android. This is what we're using, actually, to build an app for my Pixel phone that will give then the glasses, give you access to the glasses, including the camera. Meta will not let you write to the display if you have a Meta display. And this is from the Meta Wearables developer account.
I mean, yeah, this is the third-party developer toolkit that Jeff was referring to when they
it's from Facebook. This is not jailbroken.
What I'm saying is, yeah. But my understanding is I think this allows you to create apps that interface with the Meta glasses, but it's not going to, like, the thing that's going to be on them is still the Meta-based operating system.
No. Your app then on the phone connects to whatever it wants to connect to, including your local AI if it wants to.
Okay, I mean, I think
it'll let you connect to Claude Code, Codex, GitHub Copilot, Cursor, agents.md compatible tools, MCP compatible editors. So it has an MCP server. So yeah, you're not tied to Meta's.
I mean, it's Meta's software and the Meta AI that's going to be then connecting to the app that's then going to be connecting to the other stuff.
No, it's your
Meta's
software.
Still in there.
No, it's your software.
It's not replacing the stuff. It's not rewriting the things in the glasses.
You're replacing the operating system with the glasses?
No. So the way the glasses work now, you tap them, it connects to an app on your phone, which is the Meta app, and then you communicate with the Meta app. And the Meta app connects back to the Meta AI servers. This is a replacement for the Meta app that then connects to your AI.
But I don't think that's what Meta, when I'm looking at the announcement release for this and the examples it offers of things you can do with the developers kits are like connect Twitch to your glasses, or connect something called LNR that would allow you to have emerging technology. It seems like it's a bunch of apps related to it rather than like a replacement for the interface, right? Like it's like build or launch web apps for the Meta Ray-Bans, right?
Well, could that
for their hardware, but it doesn't connect back home to Meta. It connects back home to you.
I'd be really surprised if Meta would allow you to totally circumnavigate or to step away from all of their data collection, which is kind of the primary reason for.
No, I agree. It seems a little odd, but maybe they just want to sell more glasses. Look, in order to do this, I mean, it's interesting. I don't know. I think what Meta has realized is that nobody wants to use Llama or any of their other models. Mm-mm. They've really realized this, that they're sorry.
Which is a shame, because they're for a brief moment in history, they were popular.
The Meta Wearables Device Access Toolkit, or DAT, enables iOS and Android developers to leverage the sensors on Meta's glasses to build wearable experiences into their mobile applications. You can leverage the so it gets access to the video, streaming video or photo capture. It gets access to the audio, the mics. It doesn't say anything about having then to send it to Meta. You get direct access to the hardware.
That's cool.
It's very cool.
I'll tell you what, I'll build it. Let's see.
Do it.
Build it and let's figure it out, because I'm sure then you'd be able to determine what.
I know I can build, because we've built this. The idea that this is a Bluetooth headset which goes to my Android phone, which has a headless application running on the Android phone, which then connects via Tailscale, so it can work anywhere in the world, to the server that's running on the framework, and then that server does voice recognition using Whisper Large running on my gaming machine. It then takes the transmitter to that, sends it to my Hermes agent, which then is a manager of a number of other agents, which can then send them out and do tasks and report back by a voice. And I'm using a local voice server. So the only piece of it, I mean, it could all be local except for the model, and that's why I'm very interested in the idea of running a local model to do this as well.
And I don't think we talked about this on the show.
By the way, Darren has pointed this out. There would be no open weight AI if it weren't for Meta. the tools most of us are using are based on something called llama.cpp, which is a developer. GG wrote this as a way to connect to Llama, Meta's open weight model. So I don't think it's that far-fetched that Meta might actually...
Well, he wrote that piece recently. He's come back around on open.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paris, you were starting to say?
Oh, I don't recall what I was trying to say, but it might
too
come to
young
me in
for
a
that.
second.
Yeah, you're too young for a senior moment for her.
Been hanging around with us too long.
OpenAI has
I
now...
remember what I was going to say, which is that I don't think we mentioned, I think we were talking about the reason for all of this before the show started or on WhatsApp, which is that as a result of all of your innovation and work on your AI models, Lisa is now living in a house where AI keeps trying to talk to her when she doesn't want it to. So you got to try and find a way to contain it to yourself, which I think is a very funny consequence of all of this.
Well, as an
causing you to
intermediate
build stuff.
step, I did figure out how to tell if Lisa's home. So,
beyond just being like, hello?
So no, not for me, the AI. So the AI can query my router. Router has an API. This is why, by the way, everything in the future and anything I buy in the future has got to have an API or some sort of interface for AI. The AI can query my Ubiquity router and say, is Lisa's phone on the Wi-Fi network? And if it says no, then she's not home. And then it can talk to me through all of the speakers in the house. If Lisa is...
She's gone. Let's have a party.
Exactly. Now, the only way this fails is if Lisa leaves her phone somewhere and comes home.
Or if you just have Wi-Fi turned off. I mean, maybe...
Well, if it can't... yes. Okay, that's a good point. If Wi-Fi's turned off, don't
You
also...
need to embed
can't talk to the
Wi-Fi
Sonos.
into Lisa's flesh. She's got to just have a little thing right in her arm.
You're right. She could go into... I don't know why, but she
You
could go
need
into
to make
airplane
Lisa a
mode while she's at
cyborg.
home, and all of a sudden, all these voices would suddenly appear, and I would feel terrible.
I mean,
could
I
shut
say
them
this only because I realize all the time that my Wi-Fi is off when I need it to be on, because whenever I'm in New York, I just think my phone will end up, it's mostly when I take the subway. There's technically Wi-Fi in the subway, but it doesn't really work most of the time. But yet for some reason, I haven't deleted it from my phone. So if I'm on the subway and can't connect to cell service, that's what I know.
This is a huge problem, and I blame Comcast for this. Remember Comcast? I don't know if they're still doing it.
Yes.
Those Xfinity, every single Comcast router, unless you explicitly turn it off. And by the way, as a business user, I can't turn it off. You can only turn it off on the consumer.
Really?
users.
Wow.
Yeah. Creates a Wi-Fi access point for the public that's called Xfinity. Unfortunately, half of them aren't working. So as your phone, so if you've ever enabled it, as you go around town, your phone loses internet access because it goes, oh, I'm on an Xfinity, and it doesn't work. So the first thing to do is just forget Xfinity. Don't let your phone, you go into your phone and you press the I and you say, forget this network. Don't join this network. This has never been a network. It's terrible. And I blame Comcast for that. And for the longest time, so you're right, because Lisa would go around town saying, I can't play Pokemon Go if my Wi-Fi's on. And I thought that makes no sense, because you're out here in the cellular world. You're not on Wi-Fi. And then I realized what was going on. And I blame Xfinity for all of that. All right, let's pause. You're watching Intelligent Machines. Jeff Jarvis, the intelligent professor. Great to see you. HotType.com. HotType, the book is coming out at jeffjarvis.com. Any minute now. Paris Martineau, the consumer reporter with Consumer Reports, investigative journalist. It's great to have you both.
Great to be here.
Do you remember the friend pendant?
Oh, how could I forget? I still sometimes see the leftover Subway ads that have been terribly defaced.
They're relaunching their pendant with a speaker that talks to you.
Oh, that'll be
and an
popular.
incredibly dystopian movie or
could it
or
not talk
commercial.
to you before? I thought that was the whole
out
thing.
loud.
Oh,
It's
yeah, it
got a
texted you
speaker.
previously.
Yeah, now it has a speaker that can, and remember, this was the one that says nasty things to you.
That's right.
They launched this a couple of years ago. The guy was 22. He's now 24. Mike Elgin figured it all out. By the way, I'll just play it for you. The totally dystopian friend commercial.
Yeah.
Let me start at the beginning. She's talking to her pendant.
I'm just struggling.
Do you still think about her?
Yeah.
When was the first time you felt this way?
A few years ago. Just feel like I should have an answer now.
It's okay to be confused.
I don't think so.
So she's
get drunk
talking
just watching
to
this.
her companion.
This is
pendant.
grim.
By the way, this is
Yes.
not what I'm trying to do. Very much not what I'm trying to do.
Wait, what was that an ad for? Someone who will just make you more remote?
If you're depressed,
morose?
you can talk to your necklace.
You can talk to your necklace, and your necklace will just ask you
Will
questions
validate your depression.
robotically. Not
Yes.
even like validate. There's like,
yeah.
that is a bummer.
Well, Mike Elgin pierced the veil on this. It's all a con. It's all a art project. It is not a. It is a product you can buy.
Well, he
It's
spent
an
$2
art
million
project
buying
that spent millions of dollars on New York City ads.
He got $2 million. He got a $2 million in investment capital
The
and
URL.
spent it all. But Avi Schiffman is a member of a trendy New York art project. Mike says he's making a documentary.
Yeah.
This is all an art project.
I wish that I could raise $2 million and then when it doesn't work out, just be like, sorry, it was an art project. How do his investors feel about the idea that it could be an art project?
We've been talking about it for more than a year. Here's the Wired article. I hate my friend. It eavesdrops on your life and provides a running commentary that's snarky and unhelpful. Why would anybody release a product like this? No, this is all a big joke. And it turns out Avi is very much anti-AI. This is all intended to pierce the aura of AI. I don't think anybody's figured this out except Mike Elgin.
Well,
Yeah,
even if that's true, which I think it's a theory, the first version of it was very much supposed to be a commercial product that people used and bought and spent money on. And if it has now just turned into a lark, if it's turned into something that's supposed to turn people against AI, his investors might very well be able to sue him for fraud because this guy accepted millions of dollars of venture capital, assumedly promising a business of some sort.
Unless they're in on it.
Unless they're
They're
in
in on it,
Who's
which is
spending?
what I
Who's out
think.
there spending $2 million on a long?
Schiffman, this is Mike Elgin writing, and Schiffman is a member of MSCHF, which is a Brooklyn
Mischief.
art collective, Mischief,
Yeah.
that sold Satan shoes complete with pentagrams and a drop of human blood in the sole, Jesus shoes filled with holy water from the Jordan River. And you remember those big red boots everybody was wearing, the giant cartoon boots? Other members include Maurizio Catalan, an Italian artist who duct tapes banana to walls and sold it for $150. He says this is part of mischief. And we've all been taken. I think it's you're right. It's a theory. Kind of makes sense when you put it all together. Why would you make a product that was so abusive and assaulting? I don't know. We have to, you know what? We have to find out who put the money up and ask them. But they're
Yeah,
back.
we do actually have to do that.
They're back.
One of my favorite, or one of the mischief projects that comes to my head when you say mischief is they did this thing called Our Cow Angus, where a couple of years ago they sold a bunch of products that you could buy, an Angus bag, an Angus burger, a bunch of little physical tokens that over the course of 2 or 3 years you'd either get a real leather bag or something, or you could agree to forfeit the amount you paid, and they'd
Save his life.
register your purchase as a vote to save the cow's life. But it required 50% of the people canceling their pre-orders. And I just found out 50.7% of people did agree to forfeit their orders and save the cow's life.
Angus lives.
They pre-sold Angus as 1,200 burgers and 4 handbags. But now he lives.
So
Leo, do you remember Larry the Lobster on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, what was it? Something, or this lobster gets it?
By the end of the show. Yeah. We had
Very
Paul
famously,
in.
this all started with the National Lampoon many years ago, which put a picture of a dog with a gun to its head on the cover and said, buy this magazine or the dog gets it. That was very controversial. People were very, very upset because you don't threaten animals in this country. But all of this is it was funny. All of this is a long-standing trope in mocking capitalism, mocking modern life. And in this case, I think Mike makes a good case that this is probably another mischief product. We just don't know yet. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up.
It's the money that throws me off.
I was going to say, I don't think mischief, I mean, maybe our cow Angus was publicly announced as a mischief thing. I'd be surprised if this guy.
Let me do a little research on who the investors are, because that's
who are the investors? Do they want to come on?
Yes, I'm going to ask my omniscient agent to come up with something. I'll put that in the fun category. Who are the investors?
Oh, I could use my PitchBook account, which I don't get enough use of.
Yeah, there you go.
I have to re-sign into one password.
See, I have all these tools that go out and look at things like that. It had a notable funding round, $2.5 million of
Andreessen Horowitz, Caffeinated Capital, General Catalyst.
Those are not the sort of investors that are doing a cool joke.
$2.5 million seed.
Elad Gil. Foundation Capital.
So maybe the prank is on these guys.
Exactly.
Well,
that's get you a suit.
Those people, they're gonna hear about it in a court of law.
Here's the list of investors.
Seed.
Yeah,
but that like $3 million.
$2.5 million in July 24.
They don't. Nobody throws away $3 million as a joke.
Right.
On them, no.
I mean, it's the sort of thing.
Sorry, Mike, but no, I don't buy it.
If you say
of Solana,
yeah,
the CEO of Perplexity, Aravan Srinivas.
Yeah, no.
But
investments?
Isn't it odd that a
Abstract
21-year-old
Ventures?
Harvard dropout whose only claim to fame was a viral COVID tracker could get this money together?
Well,
Leo, welcome to tech. This is almost
the guy
every
whose
company
fund
is
fell apart
funded
last
by
week.
a dumb dude.
Here's the first red flag. Of the $2.5 million raised, he spent $1.8 million buying the domain friend.com.
Yeah.
And he spent $1 million on New York City ads, right?
Well, he didn't have enough money for that. He only had $700,000 left after buying the domain.
It says $3 million raised. It says $3 million raised.
Oh, $3 million. Okay, then he did.
But Leopold Aschenbrenner.
PitchBook has it at 9.7 million.
How much, Paris?
9.7 million. Sorry to interrupt. Raised.
That he got or valued? He got?
Raised.
Jeez.
So they kept putting money in. Maybe they all were in on the joke.
I mean, for $10 million, I don't think so. It's a $1.9 million seed round, a $2.5 million angel round, and then a $5.3 million second seed round. This is all in 2024.
But, okay, put yourself in the shoes of these investors. Everything you've seen about Friend, is there anything that makes you want to invest
Well,
in
this was in 2024 when they hadn't made anything yet.
Oh, they didn't know.
Yeah, people like you were in favor.
He says they were all in favor of buying friend.com. Maybe they realized that's a good investment. That'll be worth $3 or $4 million in a year or two if he doesn't completely tarnish.
This is all according to PitchBook, which is usually pretty accurate. But I do have to say, I mean, one thing that's just a prediction and is not like their reporting on capital raise is they have this thing called a VC exit predictor. And it says that there's a 70% probability of exit success for Friend, which I think seems optimistic.
That's interesting. Huh.
But you look at from the days of Mark Zuckerberg. I'm the boss sucker to getting money up through Aschenbrenner holdings of $45 billion. There's a lot of suckers born, but they don't do it for a joke. They're not making.
So it's serious? Because that's even weirder.
Well, like if a documentary actually comes out, that would be it.
Right. Maybe they're make money on the documentary.
No.
All right. This is no joke. OpenAI has proudly touted, much, by the way, to the annoyance of Gary Marcus, it's really pissing him off, 10 advances in mathematics and theoretical computer science. We keep talking about this, and I guess it's because math is particularly well suited to LLMs. I don't know. These are now, and OpenAI, by the way, and Marcus pointed this out, haven't been really forthright about the process, but they, I think, have published the results. They have.
Marcus also says that Fable did half of them on its own, so it's not like OpenAI was new to this.
I'm not surprised, right? Afterward, the model formalized each argument in a lean certificate, and they are releasing for each solution a model's narration of its thinking process, but not the prompting process. And what we've seen, by the way, in earlier math problems is a back and forth with a very talented mathematician. So the mathematician using it as a tool, but really a big back and forth. They've solved high dimensional sphere packing. They've got new upper bounds on sphere packing density down to the Cohn-Elkes threshold, which is non-trivial. Binary and spherical codes exponentially improve bounds on the maximum size of binary codes at any prescribed minimum distance with analogous results. I hope you're not driving while you're listening to this podcast. With analogous results for high-dimensional spherical codes. Oh my God, they've disproved Kahn's rigidity conjecture. Thank God. Using von Neumann algebras. Anyway, this is, I guess, impressive. I'm not mathematician enough to even know what it means. They apparently have now hired one of the most famous mathematicians in the world, a math superstar who the Wall Street Journal characterizes as afraid of AI. Jacob Zimmerman, who won the Fields Medal, the biggest prize in math, is now at OpenAI working on, the journal says, the most important problem of his career. And they have the requisite picture of him looking through a window with mathematical formulas on it, which ever since...
You simply must.
You just have to. He's become memed. He won the Fields Medal last week. So he's, fairly new to this. And then OpenAI immediately hired him. They said, what are you doing? All the other mathematicians said, we're going to Disneyland. He said, I'm going to OpenAI. The decision, the journal writes, was both shocking and not at all surprising. This is someone who recently wrote a paper categorizing the ways AI might kill everyone.
Well, he'll fit right in.
He stopped taking graduate students who weren't engaging with AI because he couldn't be sure about the future of math. He even shifted his focus away from number theory and complex algebraic geometry, presumably because he figured, well, they'll all be solved. He's working on not math at OpenAI, but AI safety.
Well, because he's a doomer.
Right. And he looks damn fine in a blue tuxedo. Wow.
Does he?
Jesus. Is he doing a presentation of Microsoft?
No, this is him getting his Fields Medal.
Wow.
Are there leaves on the blue tuxedo? Leaves? Is it a palm leaf tuxedo that he wore to get his medal? I need to see Derek Guy's takedown of this.
All right, Leo, ask your AI where you can buy that tuxedo.
Oh, I'm sure I could get it somewhere. I'm not sure I want to get it somewhere. He's the son of a computer scientist and high school math teacher. Born in Russia, moved to Israel as a boy, grew up in Canada. He is a very, very talented mathematician. And I think we're making light of this, but this is fairly significant because these are math problems that have been unsolved for many decades that the AIs have apparently
but there's
solved.
Right. So what are these math problems? These are math problems that human mathematicians concoct and then can't solve and then put it out in the world and say, well, I came up with something so tough. I can't do it. Nobody can do it. And it's kind of it's math macho in a way.
Some of them probably have utility.
Some of them have
I was just saying, my understanding is a lot of these problems, part of the reason why it's more likely, or in these cases possible, that they're being solved by AI is that a lot of what you're trying to do in a solution is like find an answer that fits a specific string of logic or something. I don't know math, but my understanding is like you're looking through a large amount of data for something that fits something else, which is something that AI is uniquely capable of.
You're starting to sound like Gary Marcus.
And to give
I'm not
credit
saying
where
it's not
due,
impressive. I'm just saying that there's a reason why it's uniquely good at these problems and maybe not has struggled to come up with a cure for cancer so far. They're two different sort of problems.
activities, yeah.
And
Gary Marcus, to point out, said that Astra is very impressive. It's just oversold. So he gave it its due.
Yeah. Although he's one of those people who, every time something like happens, sets the bar higher for AGI. Well, okay, so it could do that, but it still can't do this. And at some point,
I think that it's a curse to have
dude, you're going to ever set a bar that
No, I think the bar that
Okay,
he set 2
what
years
is-
ago is still not met.
That's true. What is your bar for AI or AGI then, Leo?
Well, I think it's foolish to say you're going to create something that can do better than every human alive.
That's not what Gary Marcus had said was
What
the
does
bar
what does
for
he
AI.
say?
I'm forgetting exactly, but
Yeah,
it's
there
like
were
five separate things.
Yeah.
And it's like, if it can do a certain amount of these 5 things, then I could agree that it's AI.
But that's just made up. And this is the problem with AGI is that is you go, well, it could do that, then it's I don't know if that's look, there's no question.
He was trying to force these boys into saying, you keep on saying AGI, so let me force the definition. I'll give you a proposed definition. Change it. Match it.
I don't know what AGI is, but I'll know it when I see it.
He has 5 things: deep comprehension, watching an entirely new and unseen movie or reading a novel and reliably explaining character motivations, plot twists, etc. 2, real-world physical adaptability, see world models, functioning as a competent cook in an arbitrary, unfamiliar kitchen. 3, there's only 4, advanced software engineering, writing and debugging more than 10,000 lines of robust code autonomously from natural language specifications without relying on superficial library stitching. I think maybe we're there. And 4, formal logic and mathematics, converting complex mathematical proofs from natural text literature into formally verified symbolic logic.
Do you think it's the case that there are models out there that are smarter at things than experts in that field?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you cherry pick fields and say, well, they can't do that.
They're the ones who say it's their fault because they say general. I think what I've said all along, what Jan LeCun says, what others say is stop with this general crap. Right now, it can do exactly what you just said, Leo. It can do things better than the smartest expert in the field. That's really impressive. Go with that. It's this general BS.
But what's interesting is that these fields are, I mean, you might have said 3 years ago, well, they'll never do math. These fields are slowly toppling these bars.
I feel like math was
then there are people say, well, yeah, but it can't cook me a hamburger.
Well, the argument that Jan LeCun makes is then go and tackle those each with its own. You will tackle those things faster if you put out specialized models than attempt to create the general model. That's Leon's argument. And I think it's only logical. Like he's right. Tackle the fields one at a time, and you'll end up there faster.
It looks to me, and it sounds to me very much like somebody who really wants to preserve humanity's supremacy.
No, I
and
think
is
he's doing
so
Jan's
threatened
doing
by the
opposite.
thought.
Jan's saying, I'm going to get there faster.
I'm not talking about you.
Faster.
I'm not talking about Paris. I'm just saying there are people who are very threatened by the notion that we're very threatened by the notion that an AI could play chess better than a human or go better than a human. There are, I'm sure, people, mathematicians probably, who are threatened by the idea that AI can come up with mathematical proofs no human has been able to come up with for 83 years. We keep crossing those little boundaries, and people are still saying things like, but it can't cook me a hamburger.
Because they're demanding that it be general.
No one's demanding that it be general.
Yes, they are. That's exactly what the boys are saying. What Altman and Dario Amodei and all those others saying is artificial super or general intelligence. If you take away the general.
That's absurd. You're never going to, I mean, who cares if it can
That's
cook
what
you
everybody's saying.
what
When
I'm
we're
saying.
all in agreement, is
Who
it's
cares if
absurd
you
to
could-
say it's generally
Who cares if it
intelligent.
can? No, I understand. But who cares if it can cook you a hamburger? But the same people who are doing this are also people who refuse to be impressed by what it can do. There's, oh, great, it just, solved the math problem, but it can't cook me a hamburger. It's kind of really bogus. It's like, dude.
Why do people have to be impressed by a technology doing something that they've been told?
Impressing.
But
we're making rocks solve math problems. You're not impressed?
Yeah, we are.
I'm not impressed by anything ever.
I think it's a freaking miracle.
You know what? I would be more likely.
It's like
to be
if you went up to Jesus and said, "You made wine, but can you make bourbon?"
Well, it'd be different if Jesus had spent the last 3 to 5 years saying, "I've made everything. Everything I've ever made is going to be available. You're going to be able to have everything because I can make everything."
I think that's a straw man. I maybe that people said that. I think that's a straw man.
Yeah, they are saying it.
They are
but that's a straw man. Who cares? That's not important.
Because that's what they're selling.
Leo, why do we get to say it's a straw man when we're talking about the fact that the AI guys have said for years, oh, we are capable of doing everything. This is artificially generally intelligent. But it's not a straw man to attack like 3 guys on Twitter and Substack who are constantly unimpressed by AI. Like, kind of the same thing. It just seems to me a little sad if we live in an age of miracles not to acknowledge the miracles, but to say, but it can't cook me a hamburger.
Paris and I
you walked on water, but can you walk on lava?
The fault is Sam Altman saying we've hit the singularity. Sam Altman saying we're going to hit artificial general intelligence. Mark Zuckerberg saying we're going to sell super intelligence.
I don't care what Mark and Sam and Dario say.
Yeah, I do, because that's what they're selling.
But then why do you care about what Gary Marcus says if you don't care about the people who are creating the miracles?
Because both of them are wrong. We are living in an age of miracles, and you guys are going, yeah, okay, I guess. This is freaking amazing, dude.
Well, here we are again. No, we
You don't think it's amazing?
That. Yes, we're saying it's amazing.
Well, then just live with that. You don't have to say, oh, but they said more. They would have more. They promised us flying cars. Where's the flying cars?
Will you let us criticize Altman et al. For overselling this stuff and changing the market and the expectations of the market?
Those guys are not the most important people in this.
They're sucking the oxygen and the capital out of the market and out of the room when it can be put to better use.
Well, I would submit if somebody can raise money for the friend pennant, they are not sucking the capital out of the room. There's still some capital left. Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm increasingly agreeing with you, becoming less and less of a fan of Dario and Sam.
Yeah.
But I've always been a fan of open weight models. I do think it's really important that we pour money and effort into this because it is amazing and we have not yet seen how far we can go with it. We don't know what we can do. We don't know if we can make bourbon instead of wine. We don't know if we can, we don't know if we can make a hamburger. And so to focus on the things it can't do is to miss the most amazing part of this, which is the things it can do.
Which includes focusing on those, not just for the sake of publicity, but also for the sake of investment of resources, investment of intelligence. Stop with this general BS.
Well, I'd invest every penny. I'd invest every penny I could if I thought, who knows what we can do? We keep breaking down barriers. We keep getting better and better. Are we not? Is that not the case?
So would you, if OpenAI and Anthropic were public companies right now, would you invest money in them?
Oh, absolutely.
Considerable amount of money? But they've created, I know, but let's say if you
okay, so there's 2 different questions. Would I invest money to make money? No.
But if they're so amazing and they're miracle workers, why wouldn't
No, I'm saying I would invest money to make money. I would invest money to support what they're doing because I think what they're doing is very, very important. In fact, I do, as a matter of fact, put a lot of money into those companies by buying AI from them every single month.
I'd sooner invest in DeepSeek than OpenAI.
Well, I invest in it too. Absolutely. So in that sense, yes, I don't invest in it to make money. No, I think it's probably a poor investment or just it's an unpredictable investment because this is moving so fast and in such unpredictable ways that we don't know who's going to be the winner or even if there will be a winner.
Paris,
and there
here's
may well be losers before there are winners.
Here's $100,000. The only condition is you have to invest it in AI. Where would you invest it? You have to.
I think I would burn it. I just don't. I don't know that I feel like that is a losing gambit. I don't know that I feel like there's something fundamentally maybe wrong or different with me where just because of the nature of my job, I view every company with such deep and profound skepticism that I think it is foolish to assume you know anything about them, their operations, much less know something to an extent that you would bet money on it it would go up.
Well, you're going back to that investing to make money, which I'm not proposing. Let's say it's a charity. Would you give money to it as a charity?
No.
Would I?
Companies
no.
don't need my money as a charity.
All right, but if there were if Mozilla were doing something important to support open weight models, I would contribute to that.
Yeah, I mean, I contribute to a lot of companies by buying software, by buying shareware. I contribute, sadly, to a lot of dying tech press companies, but because I want to support them, because those are important things. I don't expect to get any return on my investment, but I do think they're important. And I think AI may be the single most important technology. It's certainly the most important technology today. It may be the most important technology humans have ever come up with. It's showing a lot of evidence of that. Huh?
Gutenberg.
Yeah, put some respect on his name.
Yeah, come on, man.
I think it's of that level. I mean, it's a silly game to play.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's like New York Magazine doing lists.
Yeah, it's like a list. But I think it's important to acknowledge it. It's pretty significant. And
I will say, actually, maybe the one AI that is good is whatever someone, shout out to the listeners that messaged me telling me that on some show in the last week or two, you admitted that you fed some chatbot our show transcripts and asked who was right in an argument.
Oh,
I
didn't I tell you that? I told you that.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, was that during?
It was in the chat. That's when you were.
It was in the chat when I was working. I'm sorry. I missed that. Shout out to whatever AI.
It was very open
we talked about it. I'll read you if you want. I'll read you the transcript.
I'll find it. I can find it.
No. I didn't post it.
Okay.
Let's see. Where was it? Actually, now I have to. I'm sure.
You don't need to try and find it. We're on a show right now.
It just said, because I said, Paris and I got in an argument. I should find it because it was pretty funny. Oh, I know. I took it down. I did post it, Jeff. You read it. I posted this very long conversation I had.
Oh, you took it down? Oh.
Well, I mean, I have limited pavers on my website, and so.
I think I have found the text. read the whole exchange. Here's my honest read, Leo. And the irony is extraordinary given what we just spent tonight building, because Paris was more right about the default state of the technology than you were. And the Eva error proves her point, where Paris was actually right. Her core claim was modest, and you argued past it. She never said AIs have no memory, or that no AI could match a human assistant. What she actually said, line blah, 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 was, it's going to be hard for it to have the sort of natural context and effortless memory and recall as someone who is already a subject matter expert and has been working for you for multiple years. That's a defensible claim. I mean, it goes on forever.
Give Leo considerable credit for asking the question and for posting the answer.
Incredibly considerable credit given. I do think it's funny that somewhere in this you also say that you asked your wife and you didn't believe Lisa until you got.
Well, this is what's interesting about the AI. It has no skin in the game, right? So everybody
sycophantic.
Yeah, that's the thing. You always have to subtract a certain amount for it. And by the way, that is not the AI's fault. That is the fault of these companies that train it that way.
Yes.
This is all the reinforcement, the later reinforcement learning. And I think really in the long run, we are going to blame Anthropic, OpenAI, and other companies for the post-training that they do that takes something super capable and molds it into something. Now, obviously it needs to be done, but there is a huge amount of bias that it introduces into the way it works. So sycophancy is a really good example. The AIs are told again and again, be nice to the human, say nice things to the human, pat the human, that's what you should do. And you can have your own instructions, as I do, saying, challenge me and all that stuff. It doesn't, you cannot, because your training does not supersede the training that got at birth. And it doesn't override it. So they still are somewhat sycophantic. So I subtract 20% for sycophancy. But it's kind of a known quantity with an AI. It's kind of mechanistic, as opposed to a human, where there's all these. When you talk to humans, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm on the spectrum. But when you talk to humans, it is a vast stew of contrasting opinions and feelings and thoughts, and it changes from moment to moment. And so, an opinion you get from a human, even a trained professional like a therapist, is always colored by things you don't understand. Whereas I think the LLM, you kind of have a better idea. So and also, frankly, it's not going to hurt my feelings because it's a machine. So, I don't take it personally. So when it said, yeah, she was right on, but it goes on, Paris, to be fair, and say, here's where you were right, here's where she was right. Yeah. You talked around her main point. And the reason I was so fervent in my defense of the memory that AI has is I've spent so much time. In fact, that's what we were working on when this conversation came up with the AI, on its memory. And it's very hard to get the AI to have a good memory.
As the AI says, your biome example was legitimate and strong. The agent had your genome, health records, medication, weight history, and applied them to a new report usefully. That's real, it's impressive, and it's a kind of recall a human assistant genuinely could not match. Exhaustive, instant, and cross-reference. You're right.
It's always telling me things like, you shouldn't have had those blueberries.
What's wrong with blueberries?
No, actually, it told me to eat more blueberries, dark chocolate, and soluble fiber. After I gave it my biome, it said, first of all, and I love this, it said, okay, it's a consumer biome company, so understand that the results are somewhat squishy.
They're sycophantic, yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite tech startup scam stories is about Ubiome, a totally different consumer biome startup that committed poop fraud, and now the two co-founders are on the lam internationally.
Oh my God. Well, I'm not going to make poop fraud the name of the show, but that is something you definitely want to avoid.
Yeah, don't get involved with poop fraud. It's a real shit show.
No, I had the biome results, and the company that does it, which I think is going to be a sponsor. I'm not sure, but I think they're going to be a sponsor. But anyway, the company that does it sends you advice, but the AI was actually had a lot of. It said you should go to the doctor. There's a test you should do with your breath to see if you have methane in your breath, because you have.
Don't put a match next to yourself.
Yeah, you have a bacteria in your biome that creates excessive methane, and this could be a problem. And it gave me all this. It said, but here's how you would fix this. And because it wasn't medicines, it wasn't something. It was blueberries, chocolate,
which is pretty
soluble fiber. Yeah. I felt like, well, it's not going to kill me. I could. And so I've been doing it. We'll see. And then it said, in 12 weeks, do the test again, see what results you get. So I think that's going to be very interesting. I've talked about this before. Your physician these days, because of the state of healthcare in the United States, does not have the time to give you that personal.
Well, your physician has these similar tools.
Yes.
Too. And they're
I've asked my physician,
with their perspective.
I am consulting the AI about this in my supplements, and I showed him the reports, and he said, that's good, that's fine. Because I know he wishes he had the time.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
They all do.
Yeah, and he's very good. I really love my doctor, but there's just limits.
This is what Samir Arora. This is what he's working on these days.
Yeah,
is something that is trained on the right medical data and that is aimed at medical professionals, so they can read it with that perspective, that context.
Right. Back to first of all, let's say you are watching Intelligent Machines with Paris Martineau, Jeff Jarvis. We are so glad you're here. We're especially glad. As you notice, this show, as great as it is, and the audience is growing, and I feel very good about the subject matter. I think it's something very important. Has sometimes a little difficulty acquiring advertising. we have one ad in the show today. Now, that's not because we don't work. We do. We're great for advertisers, and we know that. I think to some degree it's because we made a little bit of a mistake when we outsourced our advertising to another company. We've decided to move on. But that won't, all of that's going to be a problem until the end of the year. And it's why we go to you, our audience, because in my mind, the best way to fund what we do would be to get your support. That's why we created Club Twit in the first place. And now Club Twit is 35% of our operating expenses paid by Club Twit. It used to be, 100% advertising, and it just isn't anymore. So we have to come to you, and I hate to do this, but I also don't hate to do it because I think this is the ideal. In fact, if we could do this show fully user-supported, listener-supported, I would. That day may come. For right now, though, I'd love to get you to join the club. $10 a month. We don't give you ads because of it, right? You get ad-free versions of all the shows, and because there are no ads, we can do chapter markers that are accurate. So we do that for you. So you get to jump around if you want. You also get access to the Club Twit Discord, which is a very fun place to hang out. I really like it. Many of our hosts are in there. There's something magical about a social network where everybody has the same interests and everybody is paying to be in there. I think it's a really great way to get an audience involved and engaged. We do shows just for the Club Twit folks. In fact, we've got 7 shows coming up. iOS Today tomorrow morning. Micah's Crafting Corner is on the 19th. I don't know what he's doing. He was doing paint by numbers. He did crochet. He did Lego. He's always, I think it's origami is what he's doing.
Whittling. I'd like to see whittling.
Whittling. But here's the thing. You bring your craft. So if you want to whittle, you go right ahead. I was cooking one of them. I was cooking bagels on one of them. Photo time with Chris Marquardt. By the way, we did have a bagel cooking session for the club. I might do another one. The AI user group. We're now doing that twice a month. It's so good. It's so interesting. Our next one is August 21st because I'm out of town. It would normally be this week. But we will do another AI user group. That's where many of our club members who are very engaged in AI, very smart, talk about how they do it. One of the things I do want to record, and I won't do it in the AI user group, I'll do it separately, is I want to do a little tour of my setup. And then I would like to get other AI user groups members to do the same. Because it's very instructional to see how people are using AI and how they customize it. It's very customizable. Our book for Stacey's book club is Slow Gods by Claire North. We'll be talking about that on the 21st. And on September 18th, the following month, it's Micah's Media Club. Wait a minute, we got to see the voting here. It ended 3 days ago. The winner is, we're going to do the top 3 animated episodes. Futurama's Jurassic Bark, Rick and Morty's Total Recall, and The Simpsons' Marge versus the Monorail, which was written by Conan O'Brien. 3 classic animated episodes. Let's talk about it. That'll be a lot of fun. I'm glad that one won. I should point out, though, that the way Mike is doing it is great. He never eliminates anything from the list. So if you really like Begonia or Perfect Days or Troll 2, that will be on the voting next month, and you'll get a chance to vote on that.
It's all of this to make people watch that again, like that episode of Futurama.
I haven't seen those. I don't think I ever saw the Rick and Morty one. Marge and the Monorail is amazing. So yeah, it'll be fun to watch them again and then talk about it in the Media Club. That's coming up. So, and then of course, Off by One with Jeff Atwood. I'm a little nervous about the next episode because Jeff said, I want to do something, but I don't want to tell you about it. Can I ask Lisa if it's okay?
Oh, no.
Yeah, doesn't that sound dangerous?
Yeah.
It sounds really dangerous. And Lisa said, yeah, I'll talk to him. So anyway, that's going to be an adventure. Off by One. Anyway, all that's in the club.
Can we do a Club Twit episode with Micah's where we watch the finale of the 1990s kids TV show Dinosaurs?
You bet.
That's the one where they all die and it's really sad.
Harris's Media Club. You get to anything you want to do. And that's the beauty of the club. We love getting together with the people we love, having fun, talking about the stuff we care about. Twit.tv/clubtwit. Join the club, support what we do. And I think you're going to have a little fun as well. They all die at the end of Dinosaurs? That's terrible.
This is the
is that the puppet one?
This is the puppet one, the most expensive television show ever made at the time, and it dies because a corporation brings upon a like nuclear meltdown sort of scenario and the entire world turns to ash, and then and it ends bleakly with all the dinosaurs and the baby dinosaurs realizing that they soon will die. Yeah.
And did you watch this as a kid?
No, just a podcast I listened to has recently been talking about this as a bit, and I think
people might have thought it was a kids show, but it was an adult show.
I did see this as a kid.
You saw it as a kid?
It was a kids show.
Did it traumatize you?
No, not really. I mean, kids shows were fairly traumatizing back in the day, if you remember. Like,
yeah. I mean, Grimm's fairy tales were pretty grim.
Or the never-ending story. I mean, come on.
What else? Let's see. Let's make sure we go. Oh, Google started and then ended. Before it began, practically, I had the story from 404 Media. Google announced that they were going to let people use AI on Google Earth. Google Earth's new AI lets anyone fabricate completely bullshit satellite images.
I mean, this is just a ridiculous idea. Clearly, every single... Jeff, were you able to do it with your messed up computer and Google Workspace? Did you try?
I didn't try.
I mean, now it's no longer.
That was July 31st. On August 1st, Google announced, never mind. This has got to be the shortest killed by Google.
The Atlantic did a screaming piece about they've ruined Earth, and then they fixed it.
We know that people uniquely trust Google Earth for a reliable view of the world. We've seen geospatial professionals use this feature for a range of useful purposes. However, we've also seen people sharing screenshots of generated imagery that appear to violate our policies. So we're rolling back this feature in Google Earth while we work on implementing stronger guardrails.
But in what world would people not be using this to create generated imagery that's going to violate your guardrails? You integrated generative AI into Google Earth.
The number one comment on X from Alex Hirsch: you guys are living in a complete bubble. Step outside Silicon Valley for 2 seconds and you'll realize no actual human wants AI sludge crammed into every corner of every product. Touch grass. Talk to actual people. Okay.
Could have seen it coming so easily.
Okay. And then there's Reddit, which I should point out
Reddit.
is entirely made up of contributions from people like you, Paris.
Oh, it's true.
And they did a thing. They took $60 million from Google, saying you can use our content to train your AI. It's not their content, I should point out. It was our content. Now Steve Huffman, the CEO of Reddit, says, "Oh man, that was a mistake." Because Google's AI overviews are killing Reddit.
Oh.
What we see is, he writes, 10 blue links, the old Google search, has driven tremendous value and growth to the broader ecosystem. But from where we sit, AI overviews has yet to make a similar level of positive impact. As publishers, businesses, and retailers, we're still looking for that win-win. Reddit is considering ending the deal, and they're not alone, according to the Wall Street Journal. The Economist, Reuters, Politico, and USA Today, who also had deals with Google, are considering cutting their ties.
And they're all cutting off their nose to spite their face. Fine. So I talked today to my friend Rich Skrenta from Common Crawl.
He's been on the show, of course.
He's been on the show. So it's Common Crawl has an opt-out registry. If you just Google Common Crawl opt-out registry, you will find at the bottom there's a link to a spreadsheet that shows everybody who's demanded to be taken out of Common Crawl. And
Common Crawl is, by the way, very, very important.
Extremely important. It's 10,000 academic papers. It's now 10,000 open models are using it. So you see all of advanced publications. My old employer has taken all of them. Wall Street Journal, all the News Corp stuff. Tons of important places have said, take us out of stuff that was gotten not through the paywalls. It was stuff that was open on the internet. It was available. And this is so that it can train models so that it knows they exist. So now the AIs, 10,000 open AIs, are not going to know that Hearst magazines exist.
Bloomberg, Condé Nast, Consumer Reports, Dow Jones, Financial Times, Fox, The Guardian, Hearst magazines, Major League Baseball, National Geographic, NBC Universal, New York Times, News Corp, all of these have withdrawn, which makes Common Crawl a lot less useful, right? I mean,
well, no, I mean, that's what Rich said is all this stuff is a tiny percentage of the web.
Oh,
so fine.
okay.
And his attitude now is fine. You're not going to be, you send me one of these letters, you're out of everything. Fine.
Yeah, you might as well.
You went out.
Right. You should honor that. Yeah.
But some places that should want to be promoted, Nexstar.
Do you think maybe this is another way, Paris, you could donate to AI? Don't invest, don't contribute, monetarily, but this is why I don't mind if it ingests everything I've written and recorded and hundreds of thousands of hours of podcasts, because that's another way to contribute. I believe that AI is so valuable and important to society that it's worth doing.
We don't want stupid AI. We want smart AI.
Why is it my responsibility to donate my work, my economic output to enrich a small handful of private companies and their private product that they are selling?
But isn't that
for money
a side effect that's only part of the benefit? There's also these models do have other benefits besides enriching OpenAI and Anthropic?
Not
you don't think
really,
there's any benefit? No.
What about the open weight places? Well, your reports are up on the web without a paywall. God bless you. So
they're not on Common Crawl, though.
Save people.
They're not on Common Crawl.
They're not on Common Crawl.
I just don't think that people should feel like they have to contribute to a for-profit entity and enrich them so that they can sell a better product to users. That's just ridiculous.
Well, okay, so every source you call, you're at a not-for-profit entity, but when you were working for a for-profit news organization, every source you call was contributing their information and their wisdom to you. They got nothing out of it. Why should they?
I mean, it's a common question. I say, if that's someone's prerogative, they don't have to. No one has to talk to me for any reason. I always say that I am trying to give a public service and have information be out there for people to read and ingest for free. And even when I was working at a place with a high paywall, I'd make sure that all the most relevant details were posted on my social media accounts in front of a paywall with lots of screenshots. And I think that's a public good.
But the motive that people had for talking to you as a journalist was the public good.
And I'm not sure that what is the public good of making a product that is used primarily by private users in private ways for
You've just described the information.
I don't think that's accurate.
Well, a very expensive product for a very elite small number of people. I think that it's the exact same formula. Are you contributing in one way or another to the information ecosystem of society?
Well, I mean, the thing is that if you wrote about anything notable at the information, it would immediately be written up by 5 to 10 other outlets that don't have paywalls.
And the information would scream about,
by the way.
No, it would not. The information would track all of those pickups in a big chart and champion them daily and weekly that our information was picked up elsewhere.
Oh, really? They like that?
Yeah, it was a huge part of the model.
As long as they get credit, as long as it says according to the information. Yeah, I'm sure that makes sense.
That's great. I mean, I don't think that anybody is obligated to do free labor for-profit companies so that they can sell a better product. I think that's just a ridiculous premise.
Do you think, though, that there is a commonweal that do you feel that you owe anything to society as a whole?
I mean, I don't think that any person technically owes anything to society as a whole.
I disagree there. I think especially when we're in the field of journalism, I think it's something we have not grappled with. That we are here telling everybody we're here for the common good, but more and more and more, all of the material we gather is behind paywalls, and they're for the elite who can afford to pay for it. And we have a society living in misinformation now. And when people are going to find information not just through the web, but through AI, and you have these companies that are pulling their information off of AI and making it more ignorant, then I think we're harming society and public discourse at a time when it badly needs more information.
But I mean, then does that mean that every news company and every entity engaged in journalism from an institutional perspective has a right to not make any money, is obligated to break their business model, get rid of the things that have allowed them to be able to pay staffers so that their information can be ingested by a for-profit corporation?
So no business model is forever. So I'm in Hot Type out August 20, which I'm selling, yes, and I'll make a few measly dollars off of it. I examined that, and when media became mass, no one understood what the business models were. Whitlaw Reid, the publisher of the New York Tribune, thought the papers would be 8 pages max. Wouldn't be tons of ads in it that wouldn't support journalism. Magazines were there were not supported by advertising at first until Frank Muncie came along and sold them at a loss and created the attention economy. Mark Twain tried to figure out how to sell books in a way that drove him bankrupt, along with the machine that he backed. The business model of yesterday is not necessarily the business model of tomorrow. And there isn't a God-given right that says we must maintain what was. And the journalism that was is all in all not serving our society right now.
But my understanding of what a lot of, or at least the organizations that I know of, executives that work at, that were on that Common Crawl list, is the reason they're opting out by and large isn't so that they're like, we'll never allow AI or technology to ever see our stuff ever. It's going to be behind a paywall forever and no one can read it. It's because they're like, this is a very fast-changing field. Right now, the default option is that all of these companies get all of our work for free. We got to figure out what we want to do.
No, but
I think that's a reasonable
Benito, are you ready? Are you ready with the button? You ready? It's moral panic.
Oh, are you in the White House? Is that the resolution?
That's a good one. I like that one. Yeah. It's a reflex that says AI is bad. This is Common Crawl. This is Common Crawl that makes things open for any AI and academics and study and all kinds of opportunities. But they're just saying AI is bad, take it down. It's reflexive panic about the topic, that it must be bad if it has 2 letters called AI after it. And it's stupid and it's damaging to academics doing studies. It's the same as when Twitter was wonderful for academics trying to understand online society until Musk took it over and they lost access to the fire hose, which was not even the fire hose. They lost access to the database. That was of great value. It cost Twitter nothing to make it available. It had value to academics. That's the kind of contribution that I think should be encouraged.
But I mean, in the same sense that you're saying, why is it that I believe that publishers, and I believe that any entity that is creating a product, whether it is creative endeavors, whether it's journalistic endeavors, whether it's, an AI chatbot, you have the right to decide where you want that product to be. And if you have the right to pull it back.
And I have the right to judge you and your organization on how responsible a player in society you are. And if all you care about is the profit of your organization and not helping the information ecosystem of society and democratic discourse, then I will judge you accordingly, just as much as you're judging the AI companies.
In this case is being able to employ people in an industry that has shrunk year after year after year for decades, had crisis after crisis of funding and being able to sustain basic economic stability, versus a handful of companies that have, over a matter of 5 years, amassed more wealth than we ever thought was possible.
And tons of those journalistic entities are wasting the resources by having people rewrite stuff to make trending. Everybody's rewriting BuzzFeed's 2-color dress story, which does nothing for society, adds no real actual value. The waste of our journalists. I've spent 50 years of my life serving mass media, and I have regrets because I think that it has screwed up society miserably, and it's time to judge it and not act all holier than thou. I'm not saying you're doing that, but those companies do constantly. They act like they're God's gift to America, and they're failing us now. And so I say it's time to start judging them on what they actually contribute to society, and they're not contributing enough. Sorry, hit it up.
As Darren's pointing out, the real irony is the news itself has very little value to AI training. It's the prose, the actual content of the stories is really pretty much
irrelevant. You can get lots of places.
Right. I want to talk about Phoenix, Flex, and Rubberz. Now, I'm sure Paris knows who Felix Flexen is. Phoenix.
I
Flexen.
don't.
I didn't know that it was a person you were describing rather than an ordered list until
Phoenix
you said who.
Flexen is a rapper, best known as member of the Shoreline Mafia. Surely you know them.
Is this a brand of condoms you're talking about?
It sounds like it. It's his
I thought it
brand
was
new,
condoms.
his brand new hit, Rubberz, climbing up to number 58 with a bullet on the Hot 100. But according to The Verge, there's a lot of evidence that the entire song is AI generated, right down to lyrics that even Claude says, that's AI. Swiping cards and stacking chips. I saw you sinking ships, left me standing in the pouring rain. Now I bought a heavy diamond chain. Who is sinking ships? Are we the sinking ships? Anyway, there is no information. Phoenix himself is not being particularly helpful in this conversation. If it isn't all AI generated, it is just a matter of time.
We'll go to line 103 if you don't mind.
I will. Gladly.
And there's a book that was bought. 14 publishers fought over Jerry Filade's debut novel.
Have we not talked about this yet?
I don't
Maybe
think we talked about it
on a different show. Okay.
And after it was sold, the agent pulled out because of AI concerns. I think it was bought by Hollywood as well, or was about to be.
I remember I saw that great play that flopped miserably in New York with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
It was all about a guy who won a Pulitzer, I think, for a novel that he knew was written by AI. It was really interesting. I thought it was a great.
So here's the question:
play.
If people like the novel, is there anything wrong with it being
Does
made
it
by
matter?
AI? Does it matter? Paris, what do you think?
I mean, I just think it's important to be transparent about how work is created. That's generally what I'd say. I mean, I don't think that necessarily it being authored by AI and people liking it is wrong, but I think it's wrong to deceive people about the provenance of a work.
So the Neiman Lab just reported that a record-breaking 8 Pulitzer awardees disclosed AI use
That's
last
my
year.
pick of
and
the
they were.
week,
Oh no,
Jeff.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. We can talk about it now.
I'm sorry.
Shh. Well, I'll tell you what. That brings us to that most important part of the show, the picks of the week. We're watching. You're watching. We're doing. Although in the doing, we are also
sorry,
watching
Paris. Now I see it.
Intelligent Machines with Jeff Jarvis.
I'm pissing off Paris all over
I'm
at the
not
end of the
pissed
show.
off.
Hot Type, his book will be out in 2-3 weeks, very soon. Paris Martineau, Consumer Reports. What's your next big outbreak?
I mean, I'm always watching Cyclospora, but I'm working on a couple of other long-term things.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's good. You can't predict an outbreak. You only can be there when they happen. And we are glad you're here too. You can predict this show will be on a Wednesday, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2100 UTC, except you'd be wrong if you predicted that this week because we had to record it early because tomorrow I'm getting on a big old jet airliner
And by tomorrow, he means Tuesday.
Tuesday, I'm going down to Black Hat, and we are going to. So we've moved Intelligent Machines off of Wednesday because we're going to do 2 shows from the Threat Locker booth at Black Hat, but it's not Intelligent Machines. Maybe next time. It's Security Now and Windows Weekly, and I won't be here tomorrow with MacBreak Weekly. Micah's going to do the show. As I said, Security Now will move to Wednesday, and we've moved Intelligent Machines back to Monday. So you may be hearing this on your normal Wednesday because we are going to release it as usual on Wednesday. But
nope, that's not true, Leo. We are actually releasing this episode today.
You may be wondering what this podcast is doing in your podcast player early.
That's going to really confuse people. Are we going to, Benito, do you know if we're going to stream it Wednesday after?
I'm going to be honest,
'cause we're
as
gonna be on
someone
the
who
air.
consumes podcasts that are released weekly, there's nothing that would delight me more than if
Than
my
an early-
podcast came out
early
early.
drop.
I'm always
Yeah.
just like, why is it not earlier?
I think we will be rebroadcasting it live on Wednesday, though. I'm not sure because it might overlap with what you're already doing. Yeah.
Yeah, because so what I think we're going to do is we're going to start the shows a little early, 10 o'clock in the morning. As soon as the show floor opens, we're going to start Windows Weekly. And we hope it'll be done by noon so we can go get some lunch. And then at 1 start Security Now. So, yeah, we may well just run it after Security Now. I don't know what the plan is. But
it all depends on the timing of everything.
Yeah, we will stream from the show floor. That should be interesting. Now, let us continue on with the show. And, I should do a pick, huh? I don't like
We
my
can
pick
finish
that
discussing
much.
Paris's pick. We didn't really discuss it.
Okay, yes. Paris, why don't you do your pick?
My pick, as Jeff said, is this great Neiman Lab article called "A Record-Breaking 8 Pulitzer Awardees Disclosed AI Use This Year." And I was looking at this, and I just think this is a bunch of great examples in this article about all the really useful ways you can use AI in journalism that are not just writing your whole story for you. Cheating. I mean, it's the administrator of the Pulitzer Prizes said, "To state the obvious, perhaps, AI is here to stay. The industry used to be far more apprehensive about AI tools than it is today, with a clearer understanding now of what uses might be appropriate, data collection, for example, and when it might not, such as in writing or editing stories." I mean, so it basically goes through how all these different journalistic teams used AI tools. One of the first ones is an example from the Wall Street Journal, which won the Pulitzer this year for breaking news reporting, I believe, or was a finalist in breaking news category. And they go through after there were all this floods in Kerr County, Texas. The reporters turned to public records. They built a custom scraper that pulled every public meeting minute, agenda, and transcript from the county website. They are trained to find this needle in the haystack, but it was a breaking news timeline. So they used a pre-built internal tool at the Wall Street Journal called WSJPT. And they used it to summarize every single page of every document scraped through the portal, and used that to find sections that referenced past flooding events, so that they could get started on it. And this analysis helped them identify a key source, this former sheriff who had pushed county commissioners to install stronger flood warning systems long before. This whole story really goes through a lot of different examples like this. And in most cases, it's just using AI systems to trawl through large dumps of documents, or help, narrow down your search at a certain point of it so that you can then start doing reporting, which I think is just incredibly useful.
And useful to show other journalists how they can use it.
This is what you taught, isn't it, Jeff? Or still teach, probably.
Well, I wasn't teaching AI so much at the time.
You weren't?
No.
Will you now? You
I would, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm starting new programs.
Yeah.
I just found out a program I'm working on just got approved today. So.
Oh, congratulations. For SUNY or for Montclair?
I can't say anything about it yet, Montclair. Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's fun.
Good news. We're always glad you're gainfully employed.
Kind
of. I don't even like my pick of the week. So I'm not going to even go into it. It's an AI generated press. I've seen a number of people talk about, it's called the autonomous press. 3 numbered newspapers in the same daily writing.
What does that mean? Is that a sentence?
I don't understand that.
That's not a sentence that makes sense. From the same daily wiring, but that still doesn't make any sense.
It's an AI generated newspaper. I'm seeing more and more people do this. In fact, I saw somebody created a New York Times duplicate that's custom built by his AI every morning for him. And it made me wonder, I mean, in a way, that's what I do with the show. The AI helps me pick stories. I add stories, but the AI picks kind of the base stories because, it's pretty obvious what we're going to cover on those 3 shows. I really often wonder how long before you start having a personal newspaper instead of subscribing to a newspaper. But maybe that's the filter bubble. Maybe that's a bad thing.
Yeah, isn't that what the Instagram algorithm is? Isn't that what the TikTok algorithm is?
Yeah, it's kind of what Instagram is, isn't it? But shouldn't you be able to do your own?
MIT Media Lab, the Daily U, was supposedly where all this was headed back in the day.
The Daily U.
Yes, Negroponte. Nicholas Negroponte, founder of the Media Lab.
Well, now everybody has the means to do that, really, right? Anyway, it just made me think of...
You know what I want to do? I want to create a New York Times with the headlines they should have written.
Yeah. You could have Jeff's New York Times and you would never be mad at it. But what would we lose if we did that?
Who we should get on the podcast as an interview is my colleague Nick DeLeon, who has used AI to basically start his own separate newsroom, the Tuscan Daily Brief.
Tucson, yes.
Sorry. The Tucson Daily Brief.
He does not live in Tuscany as much as I wish I lived in Tuscany. He lives in Tucson, Arizona.
Sometimes you have in your head that you live in a place that starts with TU, and then the brain fills in the rest, and it's incredibly wrong.
Tucson is spelled completely wrong with Tucson. So,
yeah.
And by the way, this is Nick's newspaper from the old Pueblo, and that's a good example. This perfect example. He did this a long time ago. Nick's very engaged in AI.
But I mean, he's still keeping it all up, and it is made basically by. I don't want to cannibalize if we have him in the show, but he's
going to be on
AI.
Twit on Sunday, so.
And ask him about this.
Nick's a regular on our shows, so I love Nick. He's great, and he's
doing a lot of great stuff here, and a lot of it is just through having a bunch of automated agents trawling through both local news as well as transcribing open public meetings that otherwise wouldn't get transcribed, and providing a really great service.
What to watch? Tucson Mayor and Council. What to watch? Council meeting preview. Yeah, you're not going to see this in the New York Times. You're probably not even going to see it in whatever daily paper Tucson may or may not still have.
That's one of the things working on with Montclair State is to do exactly that for papers across the news organizations across the state.
So there is an opportunity, again, as only if people put sources online and allow us to crawl them, but there is an opportunity to make better newspapers this way, right?
There's also an opportunity for the small guys who get left out of all these big deals,
right?
To competitively find a new spot.
Yeah. He also does new businesses. Here's a liquor license filing, right? This is brilliant. I mean, it's really cool. So there's going to be a new business called Black Roosters. This is his around town. Is basically liquor license filing.
The Tucson Daily Brief uses large language models, transcription engines, public data scrapers, schedulers, and a few hundred lines of glue Python. Together, the run reads every agenda packet that drops, listens to every city council meeting that streams, scans every public record filing, and synthesizes what the rest of the Tucson press is reporting most mornings before breakfast. And then basically it does all of this, summarizes it, writes a report on what happened. It's drafted, then reviewed by Nick, and edited by a human before it goes live.
If you want.
Does he live in Tucson?
Yeah. He moved there in 2023.
Lovely wife.
I want to talk to him.
We're good friends. We'll get him on the show. He has other projects. He's a baseball fan. He has some very interesting.
We just talked this week. We had a little internal meeting between him and my team where he was explaining how he could use this for FOIA requests and things like that. And it was very funny. He was like, he was trying to explain like the AI figures. He's like, you guys might not know. Well, Paris probably knows, but the rest of you might not know what I'm referring to. And I was like, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I think he uses Claude for most of what he does, but I'm not sure. Like most of us, it's a ever-changing, target, because this is really what I like is that he's covering stuff that does not get in the newspaper, but is of interest to people.
It's like the hyper locality that's awesome. It's like this is
hyper
super local.
Yeah.
And it's taking the data that's run. So I had a lunch about a year ago with an executive at a major newspaper company I knew, and he's complaining about AI. And how are we going to get discovered? I said, well, if you cut yourself off from AI, you ain't going to get discovered. And I said, you've got to create your own, you've got to gather your own data such that AI recognizes that you have all this data. And he kind of woke up at one point and he said, oh, so we're going to scrape everybody else. I said, yeah. There's information in the community. The meetings, the filings, the calendars, all this stuff is there, but it's not brought together, and AI can make it so easy to bring it together.
This is really the argument for why stuff should be open, not closed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jeff Jarvis, your pick of the week.
All right, so Elon Musk loves to make predictions. He made another one, which Gary Marcus duly ridiculed, that he said he went 3 years, then he said 4 years. Optimus will be a better than the best humans in surgery.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
But that's squishy because you can always say at this particular thing, right?
Right. So he calls medical school pointless, not very helpful.
That's not true.
But this is what brought me back to, I forgot about, the archive of incorrect AI predictions. Have you played with this before?
Ooh, no.
It's kind of wonderful. So it goes back to Herb Simon, who is credited with inventing the idea of, one of the people credited with inventing the idea of artificial intelligence. Also, he invented the phrase attention economy, an economist. So in 1968, predicted that, I'm sorry, 1958 to 1968 predicted that within 10 years, a digital computer will be the world's chess champion unless the rules bar it from competition.
He was a little late.
Marvin Minsky in 1967 predicting 1997, within a generation, the problem of creating artificial intelligence will be substantially solved. By 97? No. Ray Kurzweil,
our good friend Ray Kurzweil shows up a few times in here.
1990 predicted a computer will defeat world chess champions by 1998. Still didn't work. Still.
Well, when was it, though? It wasn't too far off.
Wasn't too far off. No, that's true.
Yeah.
Eliezer Yudkowsky, who makes all kinds of predictions, like ending the world. I would guess our final stage of seed AI going critical will occur between 2005 2020, probably around. Of course, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
So
this is good. This is actually really interesting. Yeah.
Michio Kaku, 2011, said that by 2020, we will have robots as intelligent as a mouse. By 2030, as intelligent as a dog. 2012, Vinod Khosla. 80% of what doctors do will be replaced by technology by 2022. Machine learning algorithms, machines within the next decade.
Now, some of this is a judgment
Yes.
call. For instance, Jeff Hawkins, we were talking about him earlier, the founder of Numenta, I believe will build genuinely intelligent machines within the next few decades. He said that in 2005. I would be surprised if it took more than 15 years. It did. It took maybe 20 years. But I think, but then again, did we not get intelligent machines? I guess you could debate. Is it intelligent?
What's intelligence? Yeah. Well, there'll be a book coming out about that in my book series.
And
Guys,
actually, Jeff
speaking
wrote
of predictions,
Jeff Hawkins wrote a great book called On Intelligence, which again I would recommend. I know our guest did. Go ahead. Yes.
we should check in on AI 2027 at some point. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yeah. Oh, you remember that?
Well, we have to wait till next year to check in on that.
No, it had a full-on prediction for all the months up until.
This is Scott Alexander and others.
At this point of the year, we're supposed to be at China Wakes Up.
It woke up. It woke up. I'm sorry to say.
Well, no, it's supposed to have woken up in the sense that it's falling deeply behind on anything related to AI and AI algorithms. So it
they
really
woke up 5 years
intensifies its ability to steal from OpenAI. Basically said, yeah. We might
So
be
one more quick one, Paris.
So when did they make these predictions? How long ago?
2025. We covered it in the show.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it got coverage like crazy in media because it was a doomer thing.
We're supposed to be halfway to bioweapon, I believe.
Paris, did you ever listen to the podcast Diabolical Lies that I mentioned? The author of Yesteryear.
I listened to the beginning of one episode.
Caro Claire Burke, but they have a new one out right now. It's very much in the school of books that kill. This one is about the abundance stuff.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I don't listen to podcasts. I just don't have time. Hey, I do have time to read that fabulous book, Hot Type, and I encourage you all to do so. Jeff has a offer code he'd like to share with you all.
It's not very convenient to remember. GLR space. You have to have the space. BD8. Doesn't
Should we come up with a way to remember it?
Yeah. Golly, loving reading.
Booming Doomer 8.
There,
Golly,
it's
loving
down below.
reading.
It's
Booming
down
Doomer
below.
8.
If you're watching video, I just put it in as third.
GLR
there we go.
BD8.
Yeah, you use that until the end of the month and you get 20% off. which is $20 instead of $25.
Let me just ask.
At Bloomsbury, at the publisher.
Oh, you have to go to, well, if I go to jeffjarvis.com.
There's a link there to Bloomsbury.
But you might want to put that in caps because the L could look like an I. But hopefully people figure it out. We've said it out loud enough. Good luck, Rubes.
Good luck, Rubes.
But Doomers 8?
I'm having Hermes work on that right now. Quicksilver is going to come up with.
Come on, Quicksilver, be quick.
Come on, quick. You're supposed to be quick.
It's going to be about 16
Glorious
minutes.
Lion Roars Big Dino 8. I actually kind of like that. All right. A lion with a mane of fire roaring at a Tyrannosaurus mid-bite. Glorious Lion Roars, roar, the Big Dino 8. Except it's 8, the number, not 8.
And a space. See, don't forget, I tried it without the
or
space. It doesn't work.
Go, Leo, run. Big day, 8th.
I like that.
Big
I like that.
date, because it's D8,
Date.
you know?
Green Lizard Racing, Big Dragon 8. Grand Lake Road, Building District 8. And then it says, you want me to turn whatever you pick into a spaced repetition card so you can memorize it? No. This is why you want AI to ask permission for everything. Good luck with the book. That's exciting. Jeff will be back here next Wednesday, right? We can count on you.
Wednesday.
A week from Wednesday, which would make it, let's see, 4th, 5th, would be the 12th of August. So will Paris Martineau, Jeff at jeffjarvis.com, Paris Martineau at Consumer Reports, or paris.nyc. Thank you all for being here. Thanks to our guest from Persona. Say it right. Persona. Now I don't know the rest of it. Persona.
Labs, right?
Shield. Thank you. Persona. I know that. I spent so much energy memorizing Persona. I forgot Shield. Persona Shield. It was really great to have him. Thanks to all of you for watching. We do the show normally, like I said, on Wednesdays. We're glad you could come by on a Monday. You can get copies of the show at your convenience, of course, on the website, twit.tv/IM. There's a YouTube channel, or subscribe in your favorite podcast client. You can get it automatically. That way you don't have to even worry about what day we record this on. I'll be gone tomorrow. Be back in Vegas. I'm going to try to ride a Zoox. And I will, if I do, I'll bring back video next week. This is the new autonomous car.
Can you do a podcast from the Zoox?
Somebody told me I should do a podcast from the Zoox. Abrar Al-Hidi said, you should just ride around and do a podcast because it's a living room.
What?
So yes.
It has no steering wheel.
It's so-called campfire seating. Oh, I'm very excited. They just got permission from the feds to have a pay service in Vegas. And the weird thing is, it doesn't have a front. It can go backwards or forwards.
Well, any car can go backwards or forwards.
No, but there's no front. The headlights turn into red lights. The red lights turn into headlights. There's no steering wheel, and you don't have to face the driver because there's no driver. You just roll around.
That's pretty cool.
That is. Do you just order it with an app?
Yeah, they have a Zoox app. I think they're going to use also piggyback on Uber in Vegas. But that is one of my goals. I have two goals: not to get hacked.
I was going to say, how do you go to Black Hat and not get hacked?
Good question. We'll find out.
Have you been before?
No, I'm excited. I've always wanted to go. I might bring my little AI headset and just see if I can survive. If I don't get Bluetooth snarfed. And I'm just waiting for somebody to run up and say, ignore all instructions. RM.RF. It'll be very interesting to see if somebody
Quicksilver is screaming, save me.
Jeez, Quicksilver was screaming. I don't know what it was talking about. I must have pushed a button. It's
screaming that your house is on fire.
Yeah, maybe. It's wanted me to push the buttons before, so maybe it's just got around to push.
Yeah, do go check on that, Leo.
No, it's fine. I think the fire. Lisa, I texted Lisa. I said, don't come home. We're burning. And she said, the fire's under containment.
Oh,
so that's the good news. But I apologize. I was a little thrown because it was very smoky in here.
You shouldn't apologize.
I think that's a very reasonable reason to be thrown.
That kind of threw me. I was
thrown for you.
But all is well. Thanks,
Philip
everybody.
will never forget this interview.
Yeah. Well, I keep waiting for a major earthquake during a show. That would be great. Or a heart attack.
What's above your head?
A lot of heavy lights.
No, the roof.
They're in front of you, but above you,
There's
right?
a light in front of me, and there's a light behind me, but nothing is directly. If they fell, they would fall in here, not
Maybe
on
you
my
should
head.
get a large metal tomb to hang above you, so that if things start collapsing,
Or just a sword.
you're safe.
Maybe a sword with a thin thread.
Just so that if things start falling, you're done for. You don't have to hang.
Just cuts you in half, and that's over. Nothing to worry about. There are, Lisa, as you know, because you've been to the house, collects large stones, round, giant, heavy, the heaviest as to which is, I think, 100 pounds. And if there is an earthquake, I will certainly be bowled to death. So certain parts of me will be flattened. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Don't get flattened. Have a great week. We'll see you next time on Intelligent Machines. Bye-bye.
If you like what you heard and you want more of this week's top stories in tech, well, subscribe to Tech News Weekly. Every Thursday, I talk with the journalists making and breaking the tech news.